fucking guy, Smud Boy, back in this?
Yes, he is.
They brought the gravy, and I need the tomato sauce. I got the mozzarella. We're gonna come together. You got yokai with the basil, and we're gonna have ourselves a nice treat there. Hey.
Oh my god, it's the lost episode of The Sopranos.
That's what they did after the screen went black.
Yeah,
they went home and cooked Italian food.
Hey, Christopher.
The person who walks in just before it goes, the screen went to black was Glib.
Yeah, exactly. Members only jacket. No, Sopranos is a 9 out of 10 show. Like, it's one of the best shows ever made. One of the best stories ever told, I think.
And the
It's
intro is
good.
amazing.
Except the ending.
No, I like the ending.
Oh,
I think everybody gets the
ending's
ending
fine.
wrong.
The ending's
The ending is foreshadowed like way out. They even say the dream where Christopher is like, be aware of 3 o'clock or whatever. 3 o'clock is where on a orientation thing where Soprano got shot from, right? And like Meadow not being there in time because she sucks at parking, and all the elements involved, like the members only jackets. If you pay attention to all of the elements, you can see like why it happened. Like it's Tony not letting the guy go to Florida, not his what is it
no, I don't mean the actual events. I mean just the cut to black for no reason.
No, that
Yeah, but how-
he's saying
no,
it's
no,
no
no,
reason.
no,
I'm
but
telling
look.
you, there's a clear reason. The reason is that
Yeah.
when he remember it's Bobby Bacala and Tony and they're talking. It's like what's it like when you get killed? It's like, oh, I think does everything just go to black and then the show goes to black, showing that Tony got killed. It doesn't matter. It's not a fucking spoiler. It's like Cowboy
Oh no,
Bebop.
it's a spoiler for a 14-year-old show. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
same thing with Cowboy Bebop from 1998. Spike dies at the end. There's nothing you can do to change it. That's the point of the story.
Wow.
Sopranos, he's on a shitty. There's no way out. It's over. The party was over. He even says in the first episode, because the whole show was planned out ahead of time. He says, "I feel like I've been getting in at the end of things."
You know what's something that those two shows actually
Also,
have in common?
isn't it
is
The
that they're
Sopranos
both
that are
shows that are they're both really good at being feel good shows while at the same time rewarding you if you're paying attention. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you have your shows that are your feel good shows where you don't have to pay attention, you're eating pizza, whatever the fuck you're doing. And you just have it on in the background while you're talking to somebody. And it's it's good and you enjoy it. But when you're not talking to somebody, you're not eating your fucking pizza. And you're examining it really closely, like Liv is talking about. You get extra stuff out of it.
Well, that's why it's depthful and complex. But the reason why you get a feel good aspect out of it and a feel bad aspect out of it is because Soprano has duality. There are 2 Soprano families that the show references when it's talking about the Sopranos: the light side and the dark side. The dark side is the Soprano family of the mafia, which isn't really a family; it's a bunch of assholes. And then you have his actual family. And the opening pilot, the metaphor is he's talking to his therapist and he's talking about these ducks that leave, and he's afraid of his family leaving him. And that's kind of part of the 2 elements. Now that he's becoming boss of the family, which is really what the story of the mafia family is about, he's afraid of the people that are underneath him betraying him, and he has to take responsibility for all these decisions to get rid of people based on the omerta thing, based on the rules of the game that he's playing that he doesn't want to. Almost everybody that he kills, he doesn't really want to within his own family. And he constantly has to do it. At the end of it, basically, either he's shot all of his enemies within his own family, or all of his enemies have shot his friends. You know, his confidant Silvio and the other guy that sticks with him is probably the one that betrayed him, which you can see in his subconscious.
It's only Paulie and Silvio, isn't it?
It's only Paulie and Silvio, and Paulie's the weak one. Silvio is too afraid to be the boss, which is a reflection of what Tony is in the beginning, because he's too afraid to be under Corrado, because Corrado, Junior gets taken to jail, because that's the whole point. He's meant there to take the heat. Now Tony's taking the heat. So at the end of it, he had 2 choices. He was going to die from being shot by a gangster, or he was going to go to jail. And that's the whole point of the mafia lifestyle. The whole point of the story is that this lifestyle is on the way out. It doesn't apply to modernity anymore. And there's no retirement plan for gangsters. Just like how there's no retirement plan for porn stars.
No, we just end up reading books to children.
I think for people to like Sopranos, they have to be approaching middle age or have an appreciation for that stage in your life because it's about middle age. It's a midlife crisis show.
There's so many good
Oh my
stereotypes
god!
in Sopranos too.
I must have been going through a midlife crisis when I was in my teenage years. Then.
Well, I have had many midlife crises in my, but for some reason I keep living.
God, I just want to die.
All right. Where were we? 24 minutes and 45 seconds, I hope? Okay.
Yeast.
Let's do it.
We back on?
Oh, are we in the same watch together thing, or we've got a different one?
I am. Hawk, you're not.
Why don't we just start over from the beginning? We were enjoying it so much.
Oh my god.
Oh god, no!
Hold on.
Let's maybe not do
Let me join.
Maybe not.
There's Donkey Kong. There's Hawk. Okay, we're ready to go. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Excellent. Yay.
Well, I'm refreshing.
Disney machine. As such, it's only willing to go so far with regard to authenticity. Instead of focusing on a Polynesian
Authenticity,
culture,
there's a
Moana's
shark
more of a mush
talking
of
there.
all.
A bipedal shark talking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's authenticity.
Wearing a grass skirt.
Sometimes
How
it's
is
the
that
simple things.
any different to any portrayals of European culture in Disney? How is
I
that
think-
any different? Like, oh, you're portraying it as a general thing and not specific. I mean, I think like most of the fucking I guess like stuff based on like Hans Christian Andersen stories and stuff. It's not like specific to one European culture. It's kind of
It's always funny to me when people are like, it's not authentic enough. I'm like, what? You want the characters to have like herpes issues and a fucking like you want them to have bad teeth and they go to the dentist? Like, how realistic do we want it to be? Do we want a western where everybody's dying of dysentery and coughing up their fucking lungs because they got fucking tuberculosis? What do you want?
Yeah.
You want
The Oregon Trail.
People have got polio and scurvy, and they're all just dying horrible, slow deaths. It's like, yeah, it's wonderful.
Exactly. It's like it's like, you ever hear of these tragic stories of real people's lives, and it's like, god damn, that is a depressing story. Like somebody, their twin died, and then the horror of their twin dying caused their father to jump off a bridge, and then their mother died of a broken heart, and then they went blind and shit. Like the Collier brothers story or something. Like just horrible shit. You hear it, and it's like, yeah, that's what I want in my Disney movie. I want a Disney movie of Cortez massacring the Mayans, so that we all are aware of it. The Aztecs.
Yeah.
Like that's what I need. I need to see, the most bloody thing in my Disney movie.
For
But it's also
60.
authentic.
Also, as well, the sort of I feel like she's projecting as well her progressive views onto these like indigenous cultures. Like if you really want to be authentic, I think there'd be a lot of things in their cultures that would not align with her values at all.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
course.
And I think
Someone put in the Discord.
completely conflicting
Someone put in the Discord
messages.
about was it the Mayans or the Aztecs? Human sacrifices to the sun would rise.
Yeah.
up.
Should that have been
Yeah,
in
let's put
fucking
that- let's
Disney
put-
group?
I was
Yeah.
actually gonna mention
Yeah,
that
let's-
they should. We need human decapitations in our movies. We need a French Revolution Disney story like Les Mis, but people are getting their heads cut off and shit.
That'd be fucking
Yeah.
great.
Getting stabbed through the
They
neck.
need to bring back the fucking I'm Free guy from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
She's like, why are these things that are known for being idealistic and optimistic so not like realistic? Like, it's like people that criticize Star Trek all the time. There's a lot of legitimate issues that I have with Star Trek, for example, on a technical level. Like, why is everybody wearing non-vacuum suits on a spaceship? Like, what happens if the hull blows open? Don't they want to be able to be like surviving the back? Like, obviously, you can say all that all that kind of thing, but when they're like, oh, it's not authentic enough because there's not enough fucking violence and shit. There's not enough. Like, what do you mean? Like, if you're gonna have a culture be authentic, then make Apocalypto. If you're gonna have a culture be represented, then make a Disney movie. But Apocalypto and like movies that are actually portraying what the culture was like, you're still gonna bitch about that anyway. She's still gonna bitch about Mel Gibson making a movie about another culture.
Yeah, I doubt that Lindsay Ellis could sit through that movie. To be brutally honest,
That's an amazing movie, by the way.
it's a great movie. Yeah, it's a wonderful
Everybody
movie.
should watch it. It's there's no English in it.
my granddad, right, hates movies. He's like, he just can't. He just
That's
never,
awesome.
That was a
never
best
likes
opinion.
Yeah, super
Yeah,
based.
no, but as in like he goes, it's just not realistic. It's all make up, it's all make believe. But he actually sat down and enjoyed Apocalypto, and he said, I
Nice.
actually liked it. I was like, what? This is the weirdest. Okay. But he said, he watches it constantly. He loves it. It's like, oh, okay, cool, okay, excellent.
Yeah, but then Lindsay would
So-
complain that oh, you're just showing how brutal these people are. They're like animals.
Life
Exactly.
was brutal.
How
Life
can you,
was
how dare you
brutal.
portray them like that? How
So
dare
based. This stream is so based right now.
Yeah, but this is what always annoys me, because things weren't that brutal. 10 years ago, we were punching each other in playgrounds and schoolyards and getting busted nose. Nowadays, the mere thought of that causes these lefties to go into like a panic attack.
What they need to decide what they want.
I might have to answer a phone to somebody.
Does this mean they want people to say the N-word more in movies that are about the past?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Like
I'd be alright with more people saying Nicaragua.
you can't be like, I want authenticity, but also I want everything to be shiny and happy. No.
Yeah,
Nah.
Yeah, hell no.
It's like
shiny happy fun time during the Black Death in Europe. Yeah, okay, good luck then.
Yeah, guess what?
Yeah.
Going back to Star Trek, they tried to do that and it failed horribly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another example of it.
And Star Trek almost died again if they had stuck with that.
Because it's so authentic and realistic and gritty. Oh,
I mean specifically that in the future there's no war, there's no conflict. That's what Gene wanted for the show when everyone else had the common sense to tell him no.
What
a
he
fucking
didn't
game
want,
lord.
he thought that people were evolved beings. That was the whole thing that was cool about it to me. Was that like, Geordi and if there were two people that had an issue on that show, they wouldn't fight. They would have a dialogue. I really I really enjoy melodrama between smart people because they understand consequences without resorting to physicality. So like when you have a situation where Riker and Jellicoe, one of my favorite episodes of TNG, Chain of Command, they have a bunch of issues with each other, but it's not like the most heated that it's gonna get between these two officers on this show is permission to speak freely, sir. I think you are arrogant and blah blah blah, and then the other guy goes, yeah, well, I think you're this and this, and I don't think you're that great of a pilot either, blah blah, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it, I understand where we stand now, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna have a fight scene, you're gonna have
like Star Trek 09?
Well, that's exactly. So it's like, you ever go to the bar, and you ever see a fight happen, and you're like, of course those two people are fighting. I pegged that when I walk in. That's the hothead, and that's the guy that's drinking too much. That was what was different between the
in the case of
and TNG.
In the case of Star Trek, they usually use the Klingons for that.
Right, exactly. Other races act savage, but humans were like composed. We're intellectual. Nobody over drinks in the 10 Forward Lounge. Everybody's
they
sipping
still
on
have
their stuff.
humanity in Star Trek still has their flaws, but they were definitely more civilized compared to others, especially the Klingons.
Federation where
The only vices of the Federation are represented by Gene Roddenberry's vices, which is like Ryza. He loves sex. He loves sexuality. So he has all this frivolity. He likes to have the naked people on screen and men and women kissing each other and holding each other and doing blah blah blah. And so he really enjoys that. And then he'll be cool with like weird ritual cultures and ancient systems, but then at the same time he wants a rational, scientific, atheistic future culture that's very evolved and civilized, and that's very specific to Roddenberry. And what you see is that
Why do you think he made Q? Q represents his view of God and the religion around him.
You've watched Panic on the Bridge, haven't you?
I have seen all of Next Generation at least once, all the way.
William Shatner's Panic on the Bridge is essential documentary research for the.
I haven't rewatched the Next Generation. I mean the original series. I haven't rewatched the original series or that in a while. I'd have to go back.
All right.
But I can definitely see where you're coming from with the point you're making. Yeah.
Well, it's optimistic representation of something for the ideals of television is one style, and then realism is another, and you can't mix that in a Disney movie. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, the two things just don't get together.
Yeah.
All of them. Reminds me of Mulan, which took place in China, but aesthetically picked and chose a lot of elements from all over Asia.
What's wrong with that?
What do you mean picked and choose stuff from all
That's
over?
how you-
Yeah, because the Huns
What do you
weren't
mean
Chinese.
exactly? Like all over? Like all over? Like what's Indian? You know, is there anything Indian?
Yeah. What's
Mulan?
Indian here? What's Middle Eastern?
I mean,
It's generalizing
like-
you
all
gotta,
of Asia.
Yeah, you gotta
But
specify.
it's like, you know, like Japan.
Was
there
it
are a lot
because
there's a
flinty-eyed
lot of crossover.
people were fighting
There's a
each
lot
other?
of crossover between,
Hold
like-
on, guys. Don't
Hold
talk
on,
to me.
one at a
lot of
time. Come on.
There's a lot of crossover between like Japan and China. They have a whole lot of shared history, and same with Korea. Like China, Korea, Japan. They have a lot of shared history. A lot of their culture comes from each other. So it's not that weird to have like a mix of those type of cultures, because like a lot of the cultural elements, it's not so cut and dry to say, oh, this is a Chinese cultural thing, because there's so much crossover.
China itself,
Between China and
itself
Korea.
is a lot of cultures
Yeah.
in itself
Yeah.
that are
Lindsay
united
Ellis-
in one large nation.
Lindsay Ellis has never written anything. So, like, her whole concept of how you would write something is inverted. So she's like, what do you mean picking and choosing what parts you want? Yeah, that's writing. I want to put this in. I don't have time to put this in. I have time to put this in. This is essential. This is not essential. Choosing what to put in a story is what a writer and editor does. It's like important. So, like, this is just inverse. Actually, let me be optimistic. I used to hate these videos for existing, but now I love them for existing, because all the people that would listen to these people for advice and that would take it, they would get bad advice, and then those things would do bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're training a bunch of people for failure. So
Yeah.
that's actually a good thing in my book, because while all those people can pay attention, I'll be doing something else. I'll read Smud's book instead.
Yeah. No, seriously,
No.
it's just
Actually,
you see
Smud
all-
actually wrote a book about writing.
Mhm,
Lindsay Ellis
yeah.
has just made a bunch of TV series about how we need more gay people and Marxism and
Black
vampire
people,
reviews.
Black
It's like,
people.
It's like she's very passionate about bullshit, whatever she believes in at the moment.
Yeah.
Korea, Japan. The gang's all here. Moana also.
Oh, the gang's it's Korea, Japan. That's all the Asia. The gang's all here. Everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't
Yeah,
pay
that's all
Sorry,
there is, yeah.
Philippines.
All that Asia is.
Eastern Russia, Mongolia.
Sorry,
Middle
Indonesia,
East.
Singapore, Sri Lanka, fucking
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Q
Taiwan.
Islands or whatever.
I feel like I missed like most of Mulan. I feel like I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
remember
what am I-
remember
Yeah.
that one Taiwanese part? Remember that one Thailand part in Mulan? No. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know what? I now know she would definitely enjoy the new Mulan one, because the Chinese government made sure that there was only Chinese people in the area while they were filming. All the rest were in the concentration camp. So Lindsay probably gave that a thumbs up and
You
said,
gotta
"Yeah,
keep,
this is how."
yeah,
it should be done."
yeah. It would be cultural appropriation to put the Uyghurs in there,
Yeah.
right? It's not their culture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
exactly.
okay to be an expansionist empire when you're China.
Yay.
Yeah.
Submissive Polynesian woman stereotype, but it still plays
Stereotype.
that happy
Stereotype. What is-
Submission Polynesian woman stereotype?
So she was just talking. Remember how
what-
she was just
what?
complaining about? Remember when she was just complaining about authenticity, and now she's talking about stereotypes. It's like again, her points negate each other. So like, if you take Lindsay Ellis seriously, you're stupid. You probably have a low IQ, and it's really funny to watch you squirm and try to justify it. If you're a Lindsay Ellis fan, you're probably a dumbass, and I'd like you to prove otherwise.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting.
Well, hang on,
Comment below
where-
on
hang
how
on.
you're not an idiot.
Where the fuck is this? I've never heard of this stereotype that she's talking about.
No,
Me
you probably
neither.
don't know very many
So-
Polynesian
so-
people.
Because
Well,
she
I
says,
probably
she
haven't
gives
met
a
a single
depiction of a
one.
character and says it's
I
a
have
stereotype.
I've never heard of this stereotype.
It's not. It's because
Yeah,
it's
go
not a
on.
stereotype. If you look at
Who the
stereotypes
fuck
for
says this?
Polynesian women, they're like
Who the
they're
fuck
known
is
for
like-
being feisty, not for being submissive.
I've never fucking heard what.
It's just it's so.
I don't
dumb.
know, man.
It's trope.
Consider the coconut.
Disney hired the
Did she just call coconuts a trope?
Yeah, because
Let me go
coconuts
back
don't
to that.
exist in the real world.
I like the
Hold on
way
a
it's like
second.
coconut.
Hold on a second.
also avoids the sexually available, submissive Polynesian woman stereotype, but it still
Oh,
plays
it
that.
avoids it. So there is it believes that there's a
I'm saying,
sexually
like-
submissive Polynesian stereotype, and the movie avoids it.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
But I'm
Okay.
thinking I don't even know of the
No.
existence of this trope. I've never.
I didn't know
fucking-
about.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in that either. She just is making that up to
Yeah.
make a victim out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Natives with coconuts trope.
Consider
Natives with coconuts trope.
Yes, because the natives
Whoa.
did coconuts.
So yeah, she.
What the fuck?
So yeah, she did call coconuts a trope.
She,
Yeah, but the natives,
if there
the
is
natives
a
have coconuts.
if there
Coconuts
is a,
aren't even a food anymore. They're a trope.
So what? Should they have fucking stew? Fucking meat and
Dude.
potatoes?
Okay,
you
no,
know?
wait, hold
Fucking-
on, wait
guys,
a sec, wait.
Okay, go on.
I
go
get
on.
what she's saying. I get
No,
what
what
she's
it-
saying.
No,
No,
she's
I get
saying
what
he's
she's
dumb, and
trying to
I'll
say.
tell- I'll tell
no,
you why
no,
it's
what
dumb,
she's
but
saying
go
is dumb. I agree that it's dumb.
on.
Your reason's probably going to be different, but so she's saying that she's just trying to look for a silly way to say that it uses the trope of having a welcoming tribe of foreign people, which is a trope, but I don't see why it's a problem to use that trope.
I mean, it's just
Yeah, because
Okay,
we
they're
all want to
friendly,
watch.
okay.
We all want to watch a tribe brutally murder the very first visitors they have with poison darts and arrows. It's like, yeah, that's, yay, Disney. Just fucking arrows flying into people's chests.
like the fucking music thing.
Ah! Oh god, my legs! My legs!
I want to hear what Glib's reason was.
Well, coconuts are an intrinsic part of Polynesian culture, especially Maori, and so it's really stupid because there's a whole myth. One of the origin myths of Samoan mythology is about a guy and coconuts. It's like important. I don't
Cool.
understand this. And coconuts are used for making the baskets. They're used for making the ropes. They're used for making oils. The oils are used as medicine. They're used as moisturizer. Like you can't tell the story of Polynesia without talking about coconuts.
So it sounds like it's the fruit of life and civilization.
Well, the song that she's talking about references the origin mythology of Sina and the eel, which is Sina and the tuna or whatever in Samoan. But it's yeah, dude, it's like there's a whole village fucking origin myth, and it's based on the experience of the people that lived there. So coconuts makes perfect sense. And again, I really feel like Disney is way ahead of Lindsay Ellis, and her criticism is like bullshit. You know, if she was in charge of any of these things, then she would destroy the companies because she would never allow these tales to actually appear before people. Like, you don't expect them to value these coconuts? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's like saying Mexican people shouldn't value beans because beans as a Mexican stereotype. Like, no, that's the foundation of their cultural diet. It's important.
I could imagine
stereotype because it's true.
It's a stereotype
Yeah,
because it's true. Exactly. That's what she bitches about. It's a stereotype because it's true, and it's bad writing because it's a trope.
But it's not even.
Those are two things are proof that it's working.
Like it's not
I
like
have a
it's saying
feeling- I have
anything negative about Polynesians. It's just saying, okay, they like coconuts. Okay, like how is that negative? It's not like
But
saying
coconut,
like
it's alright. Coconuts are
violent
there.
or they're lazy or anything like that. It's just saying no, they like coconuts.
They need
Yeah.
coconuts.
Like, okay.
It's part of their
It's-
nutritional intake. It's part of the what the tools that they used. It's part of the whole history. It's a representation. It's delicious. Have you ever had coconut milk straight out of a coconut? It's awesome.
It's great, yeah.
I would also worship coconut. No matter where, every culture, every single culture that is a pre-Abrahamic religion, primitivist, tribal, ancestral worship culture also very, very values animal spirits, plant spirits, mushroom spirits, and sacred medicine and food and all this stuff. And so there are mythologies that are surrounded by it. So when people are like, this thing is really important, it's like what you were saying, Wisp. I don't remember the term that you used, something of life or whatever, like the fruit of life. Like every area has a different set of those. You know, in India you have the turmeric and the Ayurvedic stuff, and then in the Latin American cultures you have a lot of the sacred medicine that comes from frogs and from cacao and all this different stuff. It's like you don't want to share that. You don't want to spread this international wonder. That's the whole point of the global trade system, of us being able to enjoy each other's culture. That's why tea travels the world. That's why go around the world. That's why we, have different foods and different types of, all different kinds of things. And what it's so interesting is that Lindsay's conclusion with all of this would be, that we shouldn't do it. We should not share. You should show off your culture and profit for it for yourself, but other people shouldn't be able to partake in it, which sounds like exclusionary tactics and doesn't seem like it does anything. I mean, it's denying the idea that we're all one people, right? And that's what all these people fucking talk about all the time. Everybody should be equal, everybody, blah, blah, blah. So if that's the case, then we should all share the best of our culture and minimize the bad aspects that we disagree on. I thought that's what
they mistake everyone being equal with everyone having to be the same. It's the only way they see people as being able to be equal is when all the differences are gone, which is the madness that communism, socialism always wants to go for. Which
is literally exactly what happens in Star Trek.
You're never gonna be able to. You're never gonna beat me at eating ass. So don't even try. Equality is a false.
Right. Have fun. But I have a feeling that Lindsay strikes me as the person who. It's just a vibe I get from her body language. That she doesn't actually believe the stuff she's saying. That she's just pandering to the crowd. That
none of these social justice yahoos ever believe what they're saying.
Yeah, but let me finish. We call people like that a flag in the wind, and I have a feeling that if she was part of the process of making the Moana movie, nothing would have changed. Because she would have been told, this is because of that, this is because of that.
Yeah, that's really interesting way of looking at it. Yeah.
And in the end, nothing of the movie would have changed. And if she would be asked about any of it, because now she would have the knowledge and know how important these things are in that culture, because right now she knows nothing about that culture. She only knows tropes, her pattern match system just sees the tropes. She doesn't see the culture because she doesn't know anything about it. And then she would make justifications and explanations of why those things are in there. And then she'd be pissed at the activists because she made this really good movie that was representing this culture really well.
So you're saying that
she's arguing against it because she doesn't know anything.
You're saying that she operates solely on information that she just happens to be exposed to passively. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and I think that is what most people operate.
Whatever is publicly acceptable, socially acceptable, she's going to be on the forefront of. That's why when the nostalgia critic era was important, she was like, I want to be the nostalgic chick. I can hang with the boys and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, I'm better than these people. I'm going to go hang with the Anitas. And then she's like, all those old boys, they're just
is that who this is?
It's nostalgia chick.
This is nostalgia chick? I didn't know that. God, I'm old. God, I'm old.
Yeah,
cue the Tim Allen clip of the
Oof.
It's like, wow.
I remember when nostalgia chick was a new thing.
Old ass motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, this is why we criticize story on the high level as opposed to the technical level of presentation or budget or this or that. Those things are forgivable. Those are like, okay, yeah, they did the best they could with what they were given, with the talent they had, with the people they hired. But story-wise, why did you drive the story in that direction? Why did you have those characters do these things? And that's why we go back to other stories and say, well, this science fiction space opera did it that way, and that's why it worked. This one, we didn't have those elements. So it's very easy to take tropes from patterns, from genres that we've seen before and see how they work, especially when you're in the same bloody universe and we see why Y-Wings don't exist suddenly, or why new spaceships have to exist because the director wanted them to. And we have all these silly arguments about, well, this is what the director wants, his creative vision. He has every right to do that. It's like, yeah, he does. And he's a moron because of that. You don't just start inventing things from whole cloth when the base example is we have better solutions in the lore. And he didn't bother to use those. He could have had Y-Wings in TLJ, and they could have done exactly the same thing for whatever reason, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So... Anyway,
have you heard the latest thing about Rian, where George Lucas never sat down wanting to make a Star Wars movie that fans would enjoy? So why should Rian have done it? He was well within his rights to make Last Jedi the way it was. I'm like, no, that's a stupid fucking quote.
Well, it's not his creation.
Whatever the mentality behind the choices he made, it doesn't matter because they don't work. So it doesn't
it's because he's justifying what he wanted to make initially.
No, right, he made it to annoy people. He said that. He said he wanted to annoy people. He said
he wanted to be. He said a long time ago that he
wanted to be divisive.
Yeah,
Yes, that's a different. That was a long time before he did that, and then his
Yeah,
comments later were like,
that was during the prequels that he said that.
George Lucas didn't say that.
That was an
No,
interview
we're talking about
Brick, I believe, right after
Rian
Brick
Johnson.
came out. And
yeah,
he
Rian Johnson's opinion on films is that if it's divisive, then it succeeded at what he was attempting to do. But that he didn't directly say that in application to The Last Jedi. I don't think that he set out to make a movie that was going to piss off the fans. I think he set out to make a movie that was a subversive criticism of the series. I genuinely don't think that he set out to piss everybody off.
I genuinely do.
Not everybody. The way he said it back in the day was that the perfect film he could imagine to make was a movie that half the audience loves and the other half hates. And that's essentially what he made with The Last Jedi.
Exactly.
He fulfilled his dream, and then he couldn't take the criticism. He couldn't take the disdain. That's where he got pissy. So the thing that he succeeded in what he wanted to make perfectly.
Yeah.
It's not what the fans want, but it's what he wanted. He succeeded.
So my point.
And then he didn't like his success.
He did go out and do it then. Yeah. So he went out to piss people off. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So
he was competent in
No.
making...
I don't think that he actually set out to do that. I think what he did was he went, the consequences of this will probably piss people off. I don't care. I think it's amoral more than immoral. But then he did. You're right. You're 100% right. 100% right. But what I'm saying is that intention-wise, when he sat down to write his story, I think he went, "Oh, this is gonna piss off some fans," and I don't know if he went good in like fuck those people, or if he went, "Oh well, fuck those people." Yeah, fuck it.
He strikes as the person who enjoys hurting others.
Anyway,
all we know is that he said blah, fuck those people. We don't know the first half.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, moving back onto topic.
Right.
Rian Johnson said, "I specifically want Hawk to not enjoy this."
Back to coconuts being coconuts being a trope now instead of food.
Disney hired what they called an
Put the
oceanic
lime in
brain
the
trust,
coconut.
a collection of scholars and
And didn't
activists
get
from all over
those.
the
Stop.
Pacific to help with
Moving
accuracy and
on.
sensitivity issues. But as Tina Ngata points out, having brown advisors doesn't make it a brown
Having brown advisors.
Advisors. Wow, Lindsay.
Brown
advisors.
You are
that's
now
Such a fucking
reducing
racist.
an ethnicity, a specific culture, to
Brown.
one
Brown.
color, one
that's
broad
my
color.
line. That's
You
my
are
line.
Yeah.
horrible.
What a
Lindsay,
bitch.
you are horrible. You're a
Dumb bitch.
horrible racist. Holy shit. You are taking away their distinctiveness from other people of similar hue of skin tone. Because these brownish skinned people are completely different from other people elsewhere on the planet of a similar skin tone. They look completely different. They have different hair, they have different culture, they have different everything.
Can you just
And you say brown is brown.
Can you just do a bunch of like German curses like in a rage about it? That would really make my day. Just like say what you said in German really fast and angrily.
Next time?
Yeah, next thing that you're gonna be angry about. Next time, just do it on the fly next time, because I'm gonna crack up if you do that.
a collection of scholars from all over the Pacific to help with accuracy and sensitivity issues. But as Tina Ngata points out, having brown advisors doesn't make it a brown story. It's still very much a...
Who does she say?
Tina Ngata. Ngata.
Literally who?
Just some random bitch. I don't know.
person's story.
No matter how much the story draws from the culture it's trying to portray.
No matter how non-white you try to be, you're still a fucking pasty whitey. That's what she's saying.
Can I just say something?
But I studied Irish.
This person, that Tina person, supposedly said this. Okay, where's the quote? Where's the evidence that she actually said that?
I lost the plot.
Where's the picture of the person?
She should appropriate American Dental Association culture.
Or
she should appropriate putting your makeup on right culture.
I think Lindsay's lying here because she's usually quite quick with quotes with stuff.
Well,
whenever she hasn't got a quote,
the native guy earlier in the video.
Yeah,
I think I gotta give her a compliment. I gotta give her a compliment. She picked out the best supercuts to get her haircut at.
I don't think the person she's just talked about actually said anything at all.
I don't think the
because
person she's talking about even fucking exists. I think she just made up a random name.
Yeah, like, because there's no evidence. There's no evidence. She's provided no evidence that this person has said something. Is it this woman? Was it that woman there? I don't know. Who was this person?
It was Gary Stoddle.
Out. Having brown advisors doesn't make it a brown story. It's still very much a white person's story.
It's still very much a white person's story. A white person wrote this. It is a white person's story. Get away from me, non-whites. What is that?
Should we look up the names and check if it's as it happens so often at Disney?
I wonder if
that is actually Jews.
She's basically saying we have to not hire white people to make anything about any other culture because it's still made by white people.
Segregation in movies.
So why doesn't this apply?
Can make white stuff and blacks can make black stuff.
Why doesn't this apply to this video? Lindsay, you're not Native American. Why are you talking about Pocahontas? This is still, regardless of how much research you've done on everything, this is still a white person's video.
She is profiting off it. Like
you're fucking a white female.
You're a white female.
Lindsay, I can only imagine you'd fuck up exactly the same way when it would be about European stuff, because you'd mix it up with the Eastern European stuff, because you don't know anything. You're just pretending. You're pretentious. And you hope that enough people eat up on it.
Yeah.
Story draws from the culture it's trying to portray. At the end of the day, it's still a very narrow Disney coming-of-age story.
Yeah, so how is that a bad thing? That's exactly what it is.
Relate to?
It's what it is. It's what it's intended to be.
Who you are, that anyone can relate to it?
This is an actual movie for kids with sea wizards.
Yeah,
sea wizard kids.
Sea wizard kids.
You're fucking a white female.
M. Diaz wrote in Indian Country Today before the movie came out, any altruism associated with this latest commercial adventure will always be trumped by the proverbial bottom line, but more depressingly, by an...
So just money is bad. Capitalism, man, bad for no reason. As long as Disney is making money off of it.
Thanks for the $5 super chat.
Thank you for supporting me on Patreon.
Way better than Frozen.
Let's see here. So the idea of the bottom line of the commercial venture undercuts the entire message. Is that what she's saying? She's got 8,953 patrons. So Lindsay why are you taking commercial? Why are you doing this as a commercial venture? Lindsay, why are you exploiting the suffering and pain of non-white people and to make you a higher value YouTube asset to improve your career?
You studied Irish.
Oh yeah, you studied Irish. That's right. Okay. You're right. Thank you, white savior lady. Thank you, Karen.
Colonial legacy in the Pacific Islands that is further animated in the 21st century by neoliberal and post-colonial desires for selling.
Neoliberal, ding ding ding.
Elvis is a Elvis playing guitar in Hawaii is neoliberalism.
Well, you don't know what neoliberal even means.
He's appropriating black culture right there, because when you go to Hawaii.
He's appropriating Spanish culture because they play the bass guitars, flamenco.
Oh, look! By the way, look! Can you honestly tell me that he has a different skin color than the other guys?
These people that are
is selling things. The more things you sell, the more neoliberal it is.
So if I wear white linen clothing, right? Does that mean that I'm appropriating Haji culture?
Yes.
When I get into the sun, does that mean I'm appropriating darker skin tones because my
oh my god, when you get a tan,
skin adapts.
Yeah.
When you get a tan, you're just appropriating brown culture. Yeah, that's a disgusting way of thinking. That's so funny.
Wow. Natural reaction of my body is then blackface or something.
Oh, you're stealing melanin.
Yeah. When you turn the lights off, it's blackface. When you sleep at night, it's blackface.
Yeah.
Consuming native culture of a very specific type.
And what do you mean a specific type?
Feed on it.
Well, I was like, here we go.
Representation and cultural appropriation, especially in animated movies, can be so blurry.
It's so, like, you don't know. Like she said earlier.
As in non-existent?
legacy of colonialism is baked into every facet of every culture on the planet.
Fucking
Okay.
Jesus fucking
So,
Christ.
what is your point?
What the fuck is wrong
now,
with you?
Lindsay, now you must explain to me what
Base.
exactly you mean with colonialism. Because if you go on about the 18th century and before, those few centuries that Europe did some adventuring around,
Always remember that
I'm
Captain
gonna
Cook
have
got
to call
shot
you
in the
out.
back
Who's
for going back to Hawaii and asking for help.
who is she talking about when she's talking about colonialists? Because
I don't
if
know
we-
who she's
we
talking
all
about.
know. It's like this.
you're talking about Tibet?
No, well, here's my point. Every name for a culture that we have now, at some point, destroyed another culture.
Yes.
That's just the rate of history. Like if you look at Japanese
Even the most
shogunates,
primal of
if you
tribes
look-
did that.
the most of all, because they were the least stable. You know what I mean? So this idea that colonialism equals white people moving around. That's really
Exactly.
What it is.
It's like it's only colonialism if it's a white guy for some
It's only-
reason.
Yeah, but it's not colonialism if in like the story that I'm writing about Sri Lanka right now, the Yaksa people got annihilated basically by the Tamils, which were an invasive species, quote unquote. That wasn't their land. They took over the land. But that's brown on brown crime, so they don't want to talk about those statistics. Despite being 13% of the population, the Tamils make up 50% of the Civil War. Like people don't want to talk about divides in cultures or how you actually patch that up. Lindsay is like a Luciferian actor here. She's basically advocating for something that will be extremely destructive to all cultures and all populations across the world. And she's like, I'm a good person. It's genuinely insane and disgusting to think that you're not allowed to share your culture. You have to gatekeep your culture, but also you have to be modern and progressive. And also, if you're white, you basically have to give up. So that's not acceptable to anybody involved.
Yeah, if you're white, you gotta fall over.
I'm not doing any of that shit.
But when you fall over, make sure the lights are on.
Yeah, and I don't remember. I don't remember the year and which emperor it was. But one of the most fascinating things about ancient China was a giant fleet they had built that was self-sustaining with farming ships and cattle ships and all of that wonderful stuff. And it was a trade fleet that went all the way to the African coast. They were mapping out at the time. Just the next emperor was a dumb idiot who thought it's all a waste of resources. If that hadn't been the case, the Chinese had done a lot of colonialism very early on.
They're doing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
Everything's going on right now.
It wasn't like they were morally superior. It wasn't they were like, oh well, we're just so far above that. We're just going to be such nice people. No, it's just they would have if they were smart enough.
You know what?
And,
do you know what's funny, Dollface, though, about what you're saying is that the people are legitimately one of the things about imperialism and colonialism is that you have the right to do it because you're a superior culture. That's conquest. It's like, oh yeah, we can totally conquer these people. They're savages. They're uncivilized savages.
And we have more technology. We have the public.
We're better than them.
Well,
we have got mit uns on our belts. You know what I mean? It's stupid.
Technology.
Let me just debase this culture because I have a gun in my hand. That's basically what that kind of gunboat militarism and mercantilism is.
Gun beats spear.
And it's not an inherent aspect of any culture. It's an inherent aspect of greed and corrupt human spirit. It's the desire of the ego to own everything.
Colonialism didn't exist until America did it, or until Britain.
Yeah, they invented it. They invented it in.
Britain just took something that everyone had been doing and did it better.
They need to make Aladdin more authentic, just like how Lindsay Ellis says, so that we can have more fucking veiled people and the conquests of the Arab tribes and the conquest of Mecca and Medina. Like, it's so dumb what they're asking for, and I'd be down with what they're asking for, which is really funny. I'd be down for a hardcore Disney movie. That'd be hilarious, like Watership Down. Let's go. But they don't actually want that. They would bitch about that more than anything.
Make like the Venture Brothers of Disney movies.
They have like a sadomasochistic relationship with the opposition. They like, punish me with these movies I hate so I can criticize them and make money on Patreon. It's like, shut the fuck up. You have 8,953 patrons. If you only have 2 tiers. So that either is 8,953 people only paying $2 a month at the least, meaning you're making $16,000 a month bitching about on behalf of other cultures. And then you have the other tier, which is $10. So she could be making anywhere between $16,000 to what, $40,000 a month. She could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year by making these videos, and she's spreading the ignorance of the world to other ignorant people. And she just is
bitching about capitalism.
She's bitching about white people making stories about brown cultures while writing a story about white people helping out these brown cultures. Like, oh, I'm the woke one, so I'm the good one.
It's like
I'm
you're
not
not
bad.
allowed
Hashtag
to
not all white
incorporate
people.
things. Well, it's like you're not allowed to incorporate certain things into your writing. They want to prevent you from doing that.
And on top of that, the current frame shows, and it's well put together with the planet beneath it. That hits home that what you are telling us here is a belief. It's a dogma. It's something you will never question. It's something that you plainly believe. You have no source for it, and you will take. You would take hours and days to try to explain it. You've never articulated it. And if we just find one counterexample, and there are, it will all fall apart.
Yeah. Well, it's like saying God, the Spanish conquered the Aztec Empire, and you're like, the Aztec Empire.
Exactly.
The Empire.
Oh no, yeah. They're so morally superior to us. How dare we take over what they have rightfully conquered? You know,
conquered. Yeah.
How dare we take over what they have rightfully conquered? You know.
Lindsay, tell me about the South African area where the Zulu Empire came into being. Before the Zulu Empire became the Zulu Empire, and how the Zulu Empire became the Zulu Empire without any white man ever coming into the vicinity of that place.
And it's like, if you look at the fucking genetic evidence of the haplogroups, it's basically all the Bantu tribes. It's all male Bantus with females of the other tribes because they fucking annihilated them. They fucking annihilated the other tribes. They weren't as charitable to give them like an area to have for themselves. You know, they didn't have the sort of thing that they had in apartheid where they go, okay, we'll give you an area. You know, they didn't even do that. They just fucking annihilated them and took the women for their own. You know, so
like
it's
completely wiped them out. Yeah, completely wiped them out. Yeah.
I think we call that genocide.
If you leave any of the men and young boys alive, they can grow up and get revenge on you. So you wipe them all out.
Because people like Lindsay just think, oh well, it's all just black people. So you don't have to go into the nuance of it being.
All black people are friendly. Right. They don't fight against each other.
You don't have to go into
because they're all the same.
Different tribes and there's different haplogroups going on, so you can actually tell that there's sort of from the genes you can tell that it's different groups. You know that were separated to some degree. Yeah, that they were different tribes and everything, and they saw themselves as different. You know, as different from each other. Yeah. But now we're just going to go. Oh well, it's all just black people, and so it's
yay.
Yeah,
because
I love black people.
These white progressives just take one look at a black person and think, well, all black people are just subhumans who need our help. You know, east or west coast white bimbo like head. I'm the one who's got to help these people because
it's all of their problems are white people's fault, and because they don't have any agency.
They see a black person or whatever comes to mind, and think, oh, I know I am against bad stereotypes. I know exactly how you need to act now in the future, how you need to be, what cultural things you need to do, and what you aren't allowed to do.
It's like when they try and blame colonialism for Ethiopia's problem, and you have to remind them that Ethiopia was never conquered by Europe until World War II for like 5 years by the Italian. It's like, well, colonialism never really happened there.
You know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it. You know, why wouldn't you colonialize? What are you, a loser? You can't.
What are you?
Can't get out there.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Well, take this savage field. But these savages don't deserve this coffee farm. I'm gonna take it for myself. I'm gonna make my own shit.
That land
rubs hands. You know, this is why I love. Hawk, this is why I love This is why I love listening to these people talk about the Palestine versus Israel conflict, because they can't decide which is more oppressed. Which one's more oppressed, the Jews, the Holocaust, or the Palestinians because of the Jews? I don't know what to do. It's like, I guess you can't solve all the world's problems. I guess you're not an egotistical version of the Messiah, you dumb YouTube critic. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't fix anybody's problems.
Different. The Nazi view is like different but the same, because it's like it's not about who's more oppressed. It's like, God, I fucking hate those Muslims. Oh, but I fucking hate Jews as well. God damn.
Which one do I hate more?
Damn.
It's like, wow, horseshoe theory. And meanwhile, most rational people are like, I wish they would both shut the fuck up and stop arguing because they're really annoying me.
The purpose is that there's nuance to these things, even to colonialism itself. I actually recently had to write a paper for a college report. I was basically just telling my professor to shut the fuck up. I was just doing it in a really kind way. Like, she was talking about how she thought it was a shame that Igbo Christianity was lost. So I did some research. Igbo is the name of a tribe over in the east. I think it was, what was it? South Africa, I think it was. It's been a minute. But the point was that so
did they live in igloos?
Sure. So anyway, what happened was there were explorers sent there, and what happened was this. The reason why the Igbo don't have their original form of Christianity was because it was taken away by colonialism. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that the British went there, and the reason why they went there was because they found that the Igbo were violating the abolition of the Atlantic slave trade, and they were still trading slaves, despite the slave trade being abolished. Wow. And also because they were engaging in infanticide, that too. And it was for religious purposes.
Not very Christian things.
Well, but my point is, they were doing it for religious purposes. They still believed in human sacrifice and stuff like that. Now, whether you use the term savagery or not, the point is, colonialism prevented that from occurring. Because of colonialism, people over there are no longer human sacrificed. Well, is that such a bad thing?
No. Yes, you can't pass judgment on these things because it's like there's no look when we are looking retroactively with all this information with our computers and our history books and all this stuff, and then trying to put ourselves in their position. It's like almost impossible to do so accurately. Yeah. You can do it up to a certain point, but what's so funny about the whole thing is like the consequences of negative actions sometimes lead to positive things, and that's what is so difficult for people to understand. It's why whenever somebody talks about a time travel story and altering the past, they go, yeah, but what about all the babies that are born? You know, what about all the things that happened in this timeline that are now negated by going back and changing it to make it this timeline? And that's the way that historical revisionism doesn't think. It's like it's endlessly entertaining to me in the cosmic irony sense, in this lovely sense that because of World War II, because of the Holocaust, and because of all these things, Israel had such a strong mandate to come into existence. So I think it's funny when you go, without Hitler, there probably wouldn't be an Israel. You know what I mean?
There's another question.
Completely antithetical ideas.
Yeah.
Synthesizing not into an agreement of harmony, but into something that comes out of conflict. And that's something that these people are afraid of. They're afraid that conflict actually could resolve into an improvement. And that's something that is insane to people that abhor violence and abhor anything that they fear that could cause them harm. It's like, oh, violence could cause me harm. This idea could cause me harm. These fucking entertainment venues could cause me harm. It's all harm avoidance processing. It's like, how do I avoid the potential for somebody shooting me? We'll take away all the guns.
I think they're also
instead of defending yourself.
I think they're also contriving these things to build their platform.
Yeah, but here's another example of this, and people don't never think about this. Also because it's a bit useless in practice, sadly. Why do we got the Human Rights Charter?
To justify invasions of other countries.
It's a consequence of World War II.
Yeah, Geneva Convention. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a consequence of the Second World War, of all the atrocities. So we got to define. Oh, these are basic human rights. Oh, and who fucked with that? Who made cheese holes with cheese holes into that? So the fucking Soviets, the fucking communists, because they don't like free speech. So that got a few holes. They don't like private property. Socialists and communists are not for human rights. Every time they go on about human rights, they're liars, because there are human rights they are against. Private property is a human right. Look it up.
Actually, even the
So is
fascists,
privacy.
Italian fascists believed in property rights, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Property is the source of life and liberty.
Anyway, here is Bear Business 1. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Thanks for the content. The titles of the videos you cover continue to remind me how dumb people can be, and all I'm doing is copying and pasting the titles of other videos. So I'm not doing anything fancy. I love the breakdown of how poorly supported many other positions' ideas are. All it takes, and I'm not saying you guys are geniuses or morons, all it takes is a cursory understanding of history, of media, of storytelling, and I would say many of us have various experiences and histories in these things, more than others, of course, psychology, sociology, etc., that we can expand upon these areas a lot more. I'm mostly silent because this is not my area of expertise, so I want other people to talk. That's why we have the Smudcast. I can't just ramble on about everything. I'm not a genius. So it's nice to bring people together from different walks of life who have these actual knowledge. And we're talking about Disney movies here, where this is nothing, earth-shattering. It's not some crazy idea. But when you compare it to reality, it's like, I think I'd rather have a nice, interesting take that involves song and dance and animation and kids. For kids' food, I can watch with my niece and nephew. We could have a good afternoon. We could sing and have a good time and talk about Hawaii or medieval Europe or magical beings talking to little children. I think that's an okay thing. I think we're doing okay. As much as we hate Disney and the big corporations and all the horrible things that every corporation has these problems, of course. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think it's a net plus to the rest of people who watch these things, for entertainment value at least. So, not a bad thing.
And some kids laughed.
Yeah, kids smile and laugh and dance, and they want to dance with you.
Do you like kids' laughter?
I hate kids.
It's a bit annoying, but it depends why they're laughing. If they're laughing about funny things you can relate to, it's a great time. So
yeah, that's true. Actually,
Yeah.
Anyway, back to racism.
Yay!
Let's talk about black.
Colonialism has had an incalculable impact on
like
human civilization. That is why it's so difficult to parse out exactly the impact of
colonialism.
Group A being portrayed by dominant cultural group B.
Because it's fucking stupid and reductionist to begin with. Yeah.
And it's
Let me boil down everybody's reaction.
Because what she just said is that the majority of people cannot write. That's what she just said.
That's correct. Yes, people can't write. Yeah.
It's all.
Have you seen some text messages?
Every culture, every tribe did about every other tribe in all of human history, because we simplify things to understand them and to better understand the special markers, special attributes of the other group. What's important about them? That's the things that make them special. But that can be good things, that can be bad things, that can be things we need to be wary of, that can be things we can exploit, that can be whether we should or not, that can be things that we both can benefit of.
I just can't get over how she just seems to think, like, this is sick. Like, she thinks it's metaphysically impossible for you to depict somebody that isn't you just because you're a white guy.
She doesn't believe in writing.
But she thinks it's, like, metaphysically impossible to do. Like, certain words cannot be written on the page because you're white.
I also don't understand this
whole. Or because
what does she mean with colonialism about affecting all cultures on the planet throughout? What do you mean throughout all of history? But then you can't talk about white people.
This is a fundamental belief. This is like an unfalsifiable claim. It's not like you can sort of go, oh well, what
exactly?
But it's not.
It's almost like a faith-based argument at this point.
Right, exactly.
Like, because she seems to think
that guys, slow down,
Guys, calm down.
Bloody slow down. All right, yokai.
One at a time.
There's no way you can prove it wrong. It's unfalsifiable. That's the.
All right. And what were you saying, yokai?
Well, I was just saying how I just kind of wanted to appreciate the simplest form of what she's saying. She's basically saying in its most basic Jesus Christ, in its most oh my god, in its most basic fucking manner. Thank you.
Basicist.
She's basically saying that we, if you're white, there are certain words that cannot be written on the page, and that it's in some way it is unacceptable.
If it's white, it ain't right.
yeah. That's the most basic form of her argument. Is if the writer is white, it is unacceptable to some degree, no matter what. Can we just appreciate how sick that is just for a second?
I like how I'm listening to this conversation, and in the background, what nobody can tell that I'm doing is I'm making like a lo-fi hip hop track. I'm appropriating black culture while we're doing this. I'm the most evil colonialist. I'm gonna make my rap name is gonna be Too Pale, and my DJ name is gonna be Colonialist.
And then we
colonizer, yeah.
Then the question to Lindsay would be, also has to be, if the is a what she calls white author allowed to write about white stuff, white culture, mythology, whatever, because they're
the dominant culture. It's not equal. It's not equal.
Have you read Tolkien's?
No, Tolkien is an old white man. Why would she give a shit?
Yeah, but about the legend of Sigurd and Gudrun.
Oh, what are those Germans? That sounds white. I don't like it.
It's an adaptation of.
Sounds like mayonnaise orientation.
It's an adaptation of Norse mythology.
Norse?
Yeah,
what is that? A bunch of Nazis? Norsees? I don't like those Nordics. They're so fucking white.
Yeah, the whole colonialism thing. What is with the
they like blend into the snow. They're so white.
Ramses II and the Hittites. We're fighting about the same shit.
Which one was dominant though? Which one was the one that was like the bad guy, and which one was the good guy? Because that's how I boil down historical events.
They made peace in the end. It's the first.
They made peace in the end.
Yeah, it's
that's
first.
That's
first
such a played out. Dude, peace at the end of a story. It's a trope. Yeah, that's such a stereotype.
That's how you know that World War II was just a make-believe, because there was peace at the end of it.
Even made an alliance right out of it.
World War II was just more white colonialism. Like Europeans think they
also,
can just like have a world
I'd like
war.
to ask, my one question is for Lindsay. Okay, if you're white, you can't write back. So where's your line of whiteness? Because because that's a very important thing. Because say if a Mexican person was writing about Mexico, but they looked white, would you feel that was a problem because they were more white than other Mexicans? Or,
beats to colonize too.
I also don't understand how she can consciously justify literally by their own language white-splaining to native tribes and cultures that they can't like the thing that they worked on to like, that they like. They're not allowed to like it because Lindsay, the white girl, says so.
Yeah, but it's like, no, you can't like this. You should only like bongo drums and grass skirt dancing. That's what.
Who was it that said? Where's your degree of the line for whiteness? Like, how do you constitute whiteness? Who was it that said that?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. Okay, my response to that is she would probably say something like this, or maybe not say it consciously, but I feel like this is how she would operationalize it. To the level that you're able to convince her that you're not white, it is that much of a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm just the whitest man of all time.
The more white you seem, the more of a problem it is for you to do something.
Yeah, but
you may not be white, but you act white by pronouncing words properly.
No, you act white.
Really,
you act.
In the end, it doesn't matter to her what race you are, what culture you are, what you believe in, what you like and dislike, because she is the sole authority to tell you what you are allowed to like.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. This fucking video. She's such a racist. She is a racist. That's my.
She's definitely.
She's the worst.
She thinks that she's not being racist at all, and that's the funny part. She thinks she's the least racist person in the room. Meanwhile, she's boiling everybody down to a stereotype. She's saying that people can't live outside of their race. That she's saying that racists should keep to themselves, that corporations shouldn't try to spread any culture because at the end of the day, it's all about money, even though she's raking in the money by making these videos, virtue signaling about how not racist she is. Biggest hypocrite, disgusting person in the world. And it's so funny because she's like a mad alcoholic too. It's like, it's the reprehensible person trying to tell us what time of day it is and how we should be. When she's the biggest, she's talking about Marxism and stuff. She's making thousands of dollars off of individual donations. Like, go fuck yourself on every level, except whatever YouTube deems bullying.
But it isn't even hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is when you call someone out on something that you're doing. She's calling us out on something that nobody but her is doing.
Exactly.
And the people that she agrees with.
Yeah.
It kind of strikes me like the corrupt headmistress of school who tells every girl what she has to do.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Disney movie. But that's why we're here. We're gonna fix colonialism, y'all.
No, you ain't.
What?
No, what do you mean? You're gonna undo America? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like how do you do that?
Fix colonialism. Right?
Yeah, she seems to be
Filmmaker-
misusing the word colonialism. I think she specifically only thinks. I think that she actually only thinks that colonialism refers to when America and Britain did it.
Absolutely. Or if it's it's just European colonialism.
No, I think that she actually thinks that though. I don't think she's using the dictionary term.
No. What I'm saying is that if it's white at all, then it's colonialism. But there's no all non-whites are these peaceful people that are awesome, never did anything wrong, didn't do nothing, none of that. That's how that is what I think she thinks.
In Lindsay's eyes, all the black people just used to climb trees, eat bananas, and just live in mud huts, peacefully doing nothing, playing the bongo.
Noble savage stereotype.
Yeah, in the grass skirts in front of fires, and then the evil white man came along. And there was peace in Africa till the white nations came, and it's like
everything was fine until the white nation attacked.
Yeah, until the white nation attacked. Like there was never. Black people didn't have a word for war or violence or confrontations until they met the white man.
It's like Fern Gully or some shit, where it's like, the white they came in and they stole our jobs. Fuck you, dude. Yeah. And people they're all about colonization when it goes by the term mass immigration. So it's just like, they weren't colonizers. Exactly. It was just a mass migration. They were refugees. They were Europeans fleeing. They were we need to take them in. Why did the Aztec Empire take them in? Shut up.
To frantically unlock our doors and give them everything we own.
Do you want cultures to mix or not? Choose one side. If you don't, then you're actually on the right wing side. Fucking idiot.
Filmmaker Taika Waititi,
filmmaker non-Waititi,
a native of New Zealand of Maori descent, wrote the first draft of Moana before leaving.
Oh, but it's still it's still a white person's thing.
Yeah, he's pretty white. So again, where's your level of whiteness?
Okay.
His name is. He even has Waititi.
If you want to know his background,
wait a minute.
His background is his mother's family were Russian Jews mixed with a bit of Irish and other European ancestry, while his father's side was Maori with a little bit of French Canadian.
Fucking vey.
He describes himself
can I also say,
as a Polynesian Jew.
Vey, I'm going to Polynesia to celebrate my bris.
Also,
is she still with him? And a Polynesian name, and that makes him not white.
He was Hitler in that film, remember? What film was it? Jojo Rabbit?
That's cultural appropriation.
Yeah. He stars Hitler.
You can't say Hitler with a hard R. That's our word.
Hitler.
Sorry, I mean,
no, you can say Hitler.
Hitler.
If his name was Taylor,
Adolf Hitler. Hitler.
Adolf Gretchen Whitmer.
Adolf I've never wrong Hitler.
Am I the only one that's never used the pause button before?
Unpause.
The project.
Yes.
Though little of Waititi's script, which focused way more on gender and on Moana's struggle in being in a family full of boys, remained.
So totally authentic. It's totally progressive, but not authentic. A bunch of shit. You're just talking shit.
I want to be the one to pause it next time.
Why?
I want to try it. Yes,
I've
never done it. I'm announcing it in advance because I don't want to be white.
You're too white. No, you're too white.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Shut up! I'm trying to get through this video by myself because I'm the most important person here.
He's on good enough terms with Disney to be directing this fall's Thor Ragnarok. Waititi said after the movie came out, indigenous people in films, it's like all nose flutes and panpipes and, people talking to ghosts, which I hate.
That sounds like a retard.
I thought.
What is?
Also, you actually hate the native culture.
Right.
You hate the
pausing. Just one person pause.
So Waititi hates the actual native cultures. What a
Well, of
fucking
course he does,
racist.
because he's gone so far back in his history to find something Polynesian, when in reality he's not at all.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing is like when people from mixed race backgrounds, like mixed Jewish with Polish and Russian, it's like
French Canadian
You
stuff.
are
Like,
the
oh, I
one
found one Maori like
being
200 years ago.
being an Amerimutt, being a mixed mutt American with no root with your culture, or some international specimen that's created through multiple different ethnicities or whatever. That you are the one that with identity problems, and Lindsay Ellis and people are not helping you figure that out.
I think if you get mixed enough, you just become Jewish.
I think that's the most base thing that's ever been said on the internet.
Wait, what?
That's the
Wait,
best.
what? What
I think I can quit the internet now. That's the best thing I've ever heard. I'm done.
And
You win. You win. You can have my cowboy hat. You're the new space
Hold
cowboy.
on, Glib.
Awesome.
Check, please.
Check, please. That was it. That was brilliant. I love it. That's so fucking funny on so many levels. I can't even begin to tell you.
Before Lindsay is explicitly put out that in a very positive connotation that she saw the gender issues Waititi wanted to bring in to the movie, which is her polit fetish. That's why she's happy about it. She doesn't give a shit about the actual cultures. She's proven that. She only wants to see her political fetish.
Yeah.
Pisses me off every single
Inquisitor
time.
Matthias, that was a retarded statement. I thought it was a beautiful statement.
You just don't get it.
Ram Jamaram.
Which?
Oh, cool. Just realized you can see who paused and unpaused. Yeah, see, it's Donkey
I'm not
Kong.
making.
Okay.
Are you happy?
Are you
feeling
fucking
pretty
happy now?
I'm feeling
Good.
pretty good.
I'm glad you are. I hope you feel happy for a long time and you work well with your life and you have a lot of success. Anyway.
Oh, it makes you happy? I hope you fucking die happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking.
I hope you die peacefully in your sleep.
Yeah, I hope you
surrounded by
die
your
peacefully
family.
of old age when you're done living and you're ready to go.
Peacefully in your old age, surrounded by your grandchildren.
Fucking douche.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch ass. I hope it's really peaceful and you really feel at peace.
I hope you live a fulfilling life, you motherfucker.
I hope you have no regrets, you fucking dumbass.
I wish you success and good fortune in everything you do, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I hope
There
you
was
achieve all your life goals. You fucking.
There was one point in my
job.
life where I actually legitimately had that type of argument with somebody where it was like that level of polite, and then we both just started laughing our asses off.
Live long and prosper, douchebag.
Yeah, I said, I think that's the most polite argument I've ever had in my life.
With all due respect, I wish you well.
That was actually how it went.
Faggot.
I was like, oh yeah, well, you have a nice day then. And he was like, oh yeah, well, you too. And then like 10 minutes went by. I'm like, I think that's the most polite
Did this take
argument.
place in Star Trek Next Generation?
It sounds
No,
like
this was
Jordy,
this
you
is- this
fucking
is-
four
this is
eyes.
an,
Look at me with your blindness. Actually, I'm so sorry. That's so rude and
I bet-
I
disrespectful.
really appreciate your friendship, cunt.
I bet
You've
that's
always
what brings,
been
like,
there for
memories
me,
back.
fucking-
You
of,
say that,
Smud-
you say that, but I'm
Smud
pretty sure
arguments in
Worf would
Canada.
say something like that.
Oh,
Sounds like a
there's a
Canadian
moment where Data's in command and Worf is like
Yes.
hesitant to follow him, and then Data
Yeah.
pulls him aside and he's like, "You can't be doing that." And he's like, "By the way, I apologize if I terminated our friendship or whatever." And then Worf is like, "No,
No desire.
I respect
His
what you
eyes must
say. You are
apologize.
completely correct. I was disrespecting you."
That's a great scene. No, that's a
Yeah.
great scene.
Because
I see.
that just again shows that you can agree to not agree to disagree, but
But
you
also,
can respect
it's not even
hierarchy.
humans though. But it's not even human.
Yeah.
It's an android and a Klingon. Literally saying, yeah, no.
I love
One-
I love those jokes where it's like it's like when you were a boy, didn't you grow up putting ships in bottles? And then Worf is like, I didn't play when I
never
was growing
played
up or
with
whatever. And then Data's like, I was never a boy.
No, I know. It's I never played with ships, and I was
Yeah,
never a
exactly.
boy.
I was never a boy. I love it just says it in like matter of fact.
Hey, Glib, did you
I
see
know,
it?
I know.
Have you ever seen the outtake of that?
No, but I watch any of the
Yeah,
outtakes.
the
I have them all
outtake. No,
downloaded.
the outtakers. Yeah, the outtakers. Wolf goes, "I never played with boys." I mean,
Oh God.
That's great. That's great.
Oh wow, he said that by accident.
Star Trek just gives you this warm feeling of like it's kind of goofy, but it's well intentioned, and that's always endearing. And Lindsay Ellis just leaves this like bile taste in my mouth, like I'm pissing shit out of my dick. It's like terrible.
Still pretty damn sad that it took Patrick Stewart an entire season to chill the fuck out.
Well, he said we got to watch Panic on the Bridge because a lot of people, I don't think it's we got to do that for
chaos on the bridge.
Chaos on the bridge, whatever. Because the thing is that Shatner was very serious and took everything extremely seriously, and the rest of the American crew were like dancing around and fucking around.
Patrick Stewart you're talking about.
Yeah,
Shatner was the one. Shatner's Kirk. He did the interviews.
No, I know.
You're talking about Patrick Stewart.
If I had a dyslexic moment there where I said mixed up names,
don't worry about it.
Whatever.
Seriously.
But yeah, everybody knows that Shatner was a fucking goofball and made fun of people all the time.
Everyone knows that Shatner played Cisco. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Cisco is
one dynamic that I thought was really cool though. Back to when you were saying about Data and Worf. I think one dynamic that I liked was between William Riker and Ensign Ro.
Yeah, that was pretty good. My favorite episodes are episodes where people are like characters are faced with hard truths. Like the writers are like trying to write something that's specifically for them. I really, really love Chain of Command, where Jellicoe just takes over the ship and he's like, "Why is this? Like, I want you." There's a whole conversation where Troy comes in and she's trying to be all the normal, like, guys, I think they just need some time to get used to being in by the, and she's all like patronizing, and then as she's leaving, he's like, oh, by the way, I want you to wear a regulation uniform. It's like he's just like, fuck everything that you're saying. I don't have time for your bullshit. Also,
now I remember that episode.
It's the one where they're gonna face off against the Cardassians, and Jellicoe's right about everything, and Picard gets captured. They use him as like bait and stuff, and he's like, "A fall light." So there's like so many good stories going on. You got Jellicoe, who's played by the guy from RoboCop, the evil CEO guy, and the guy that's also the bad guy from Total Recall, who's perfect at being a dick character, even though he's right about everything and something that you're not expecting.
His name's Dick in RoboCop.
Right. So like he's a Verhoeven special. So then you have this other thing where you have I think his name was Alan Warner or whatever, the guy that was the bad guy in Tron. He was also a bad guy in a bunch of other Star Trek stuff, and he's this very deadpan British, and him and Patrick Stewart are having this amazing Shakespeare level back and forth, and it's like, wow, this is the apex of what Star Trek is capable of. And why it all works so well, because there are people that are aware of how it works, and they're playing with these concepts while not trying to break the entire system, as opposed to now where they're just like, fuck it, space spores.
Also, quick thing is like you say that just the title Chain of Command for some reason reminds me of that one episode with Commodore Decker in the original series. He was an asshole of the umpteenth degree. I fucking hate him.
Can we get back to the video?
Yeah, let's go back to the video.
I want to keep talking about Star Trek. Fuck this bitch.
We gotta go back. We gotta go back to Taika Waititi.
That's insensitive or shallow was to involve people from that community, from the Pacific.
Yeah, wow. So okay, grab them and bring them in. That's great. What's the problem?
Wait, what? I thought, the best way of them not making something that's insensitive or shallow was to involve people from that community, from the Pacific. Yeah, that you're not part of. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
If there's some way I could be at the table and help try and make this not a bad film, then I'll try.
All right, so we're making a film.
Why I?
Why is Taika Waititi? Why is Taika Waititi, who's not Nordic, making a film about Thor? Then, you fucking hypocrites! You're just a bunch of hypocrites. Kill yourselves. Kill yourselves. Just kidding. In Minecraft.
Is it wrong to say that Thor Ragnarok is the last good movie he ever made?
What?
I didn't think Ragnarok was good.
No, Ragnarok isn't good.
I really didn't like it.
And the first two movies were any better?
It had Jeff Goldblum in it, though. That's always
fun. It
was a fun film.
Come on. Okay, before we're going back to the videos, like you gotta admit at least it was better than the other two Thor movies. Come on.
It was more memorable.
I even disagree with that.
I remember
I have a tiny little spot for
movies. I literally can't remember a single thing.
Thor 2 in my heart for very, very limited reasons.
What, the best Thor movie? Get out of here.
Or Ragnarok was just random bullshit.
He left Moana to go. What We Do in the Shadows with Shemaine Clement.
Yeah,
who
that was
incidentally
good.
stars
That
in
was
Moana.
actually What We Do in the Shadows.
That was very good. Yes, I saw that.
Yes, Taika Waititi is not unskilled. I don't want to fucking shit on him like that. I just shit on him for his boisterous, random philandering about virtue signaling. I hate people that virtue signal. Like, just shut the fuck up about other people's race and ethnicity and what you think they should be doing if you don't want to get it back. Like, just seriously, just shut the fuck up about it.
As Tamato. If you haven't seen that movie, you should. It's cute.
Just leave me to do my dark bidding on the internet.
This is appropriating Transylvanian culture. I don't appreciate.
Yeah. God, what a racist.
On the table.
But here's the thing that I think really separates Moana from Pocahontas and The Emperor's New Groove for that matter.
Well, these people involve brown people, and these people.
Yeah,
involve white people.
to finally go back to Pocahontas. Jesus.
The plot
Made
derives
movies about
from
our culture.
lessons Moana learns about her own culture.
Moana's personal journey.
Oh, so it's all about just their culture. You have to be exclusionary to other cultures.
Yeah.
What the
Great lesson.
To the point where you can't use another culture's music for a specific movie.
Yeah.
What?
So Moana should not be in English. I bet she would say the whole thing should be in some Polynesian dialect.
Yes,
She
did
would
you
say
know that
that.
most of our cultures on the fucking planet teach us all the same things?
She doesn't get that because she doesn't know anything about writing.
Yeah.
Really kicks in when she finds out that she is descended from a long line of voyagers.
We are descended from voyagers.
From a long line.
We
of
are
voyagers.
descended from the Argyns that came before my ancestors.
Why
So
is-
stupid.
Why is she now in favor? I don't get it. Like
She's now in
it's-
favor of tribal
the-
ancestor worship.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, my ancestors, and being in touch with your ancestors and honoring the wishes of your ancestors and shit. And it's like, what? Like it seems like she should be nominally against that in general, at least for white people. I mean,
If
especially
brown-
when she
it-
talks about colonialism, she's
it-
like, "Oh, you shouldn't be part of this, and you
Well, so
should."
the Polynesian
want to get back to your,
culture is all about
ancestors'
colonization as well.
you know.
Just
But
gonna tell you that.
it's just like, it's just fucking incoherent. Like it's every sentence contradicts the last one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
but
like, you should celebrate.
Her usual audience doesn't remember what she said in the last 5 seconds. That's why. It doesn't matter. She could go flibbity blibbity bob blib blue, and then they'll go, yeah, that sounds good. Then completely forget about it in the next 5 seconds and go, God, yeah, she's always talking right. But you
What a
ask them
brilliant,
what she's
brilliant
actually
person.
said, and it's like, I'm going, no, fucking.
Who found their way across the world. They
We colonized this
And that's the thing that
planet.
sticks with me, racial stereotyping aside, is that
Yeah, they
Racial
colonize
stereotyping
us.
is like,
it.
how
Racial
can you
stereotyping.
be? What the fuck? How can you be authentic without a racial stereotype?
Lindsay, do you know how stereotypes
fuck?
actually work
It's
and
like
how they
she
come
doesn't
into
want-
being?
She doesn't want individualism. She doesn't want like characters to just be characters, but she also doesn't want them to be stereotypes.
She's literally
And it's like,
making
what?
it impossible to make anything.
It's an absolute
What?
Yeah.
mind. Oh, by the way, Lindsay, before all this civilization stuff, this current civilization stuff, let's say, my ancestors fucked Neanderthals out of existence so that we all have these horrible, wonderful foreheads. Then they did blood sacrifices, and then they killed Roman legions by luring them into the forest.
Yeah, you should.
Do you
You
have
should
any
worship them.
opinions on that?
She
Do you
loves
have any
it.
opinions on that?
She loves it
Yeah,
because it's colonialism.
because
Protect
the
Magna
Romans were
Germania.
the Romans were pretty colonial, and they were threatening our tribal culture. You know,
What would she
and
say?
then pushing it
What would she
onto us,
say about a
luring
mo-
us into their civilization with the aqueducts and their food and the agriculture?
No, that's
Horrible.
all. That's all terrible. We all need to be primitivists. Like, I want to
And
see
their toilets.
if she made a Disney movie. If
agriculture.
they made
Fucking
a
toilets.
if they made a Disney movie about Genghis Khan and the Mongols, how would that work?
Oh,
The
it's called
agricultural
They would just
revolution and
they would
its
just they
consequences.
would leave out all the conquest and how the Mongols just walked around the Great Wall of China, and just do the Karakorum stuff where everything was wonderful and they had their temples of every religion and everything was wonderful until Genghis Khan died and then it all fell apart within a generation.
Awesome.
This is
I love it.
such a stupid fucking video.
This is dumb for dumb people.
Lindsay,
Ultimately, the story.
I want to know what you think about the Germanic tribes, because they're like these other indigenous things.
They're white. Fuck white people is the message.
We did the
Isn't
same
just
fucking
about
shit they did in
white-
Africa.
It's legit just fuck white people. It's not that complicated.
I know.
They call me.
And that's the thing that sticks with me, racial stereotyping aside, is that ultimately the story isn't just about a young girl finding herself, but discovering that her ancestors did incredible things.
Jesus Christ! Why?
Yeah, incredible things.
What does
like
this have to do with Pocahontas?
Incredible
That's
things like
story.
setting up
That's
colonies
story.
on islands.
What is wrong with it just being that? What the fuck?
Let's hear out.
And her joy discovering that.
We were voyagers.
Is anyone
were
going to say that we
colonizers.
should sacrifice some little girl in New Zealand or Los Angeles or Hawaii seeing a well-rounded character who looks like her just because it's Disney and therefore appropriative? No, that's why there's a push for ethical cultural representation.
Ethical cultural
Cultural
representation
God,
in gaming.
these are. I'd tell you something now. She's just making.
Lindsay.
She's just adding more and more.
How
fucking
can it
words
be
that-
ethical by your own standards? What the fuck?
Lindsay, when the natives are fine with the depiction,
No,
that is ethical. That's
She
fine.
studied,
They're happy.
she studied Irish.
No, that's
Yeah, God
internalized
damn it.
oppression. That's internalized oppression. They've internalized white supremacy.
No,
so
she already said it wasn't good enough.
Just wait until
Do you
just wait
remember-
until Disney makes an Irish movie.
You guys remember
Hey.
when it wasn't good enough? Moana was not good enough, just like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And she's saying,
Yeah,
"Oh, it could have
yeah.
been better. We can fix colonialism, but just
No, we
make it
can't.
about." By fixing colonialism, she means make the story not about white people. Make it not about white Europeans whatsoever. That's what she's saying. It's segregation of ideas.
And a lot of this stuff is subjective. That is
By
why...
definition,
Subjective. A lot of this stuff is subjective. That's why my opinion's right.
Oh God. No, nothing makes sense. Now everything is irrelevant now. Wonderful.
Yeah, just
what the fuck,
just,
Lindsay?
just let it go. Let it go.
Are you
can
listening
never
to
be a
yourself?
pure representation, especially in a globalist media economy. An increasingly diverse consumer base
A
wants to see
globulous media economy. Jesus Christ. What the
No,
fuck
now
is
she's
this?
admitting. Now she's admitting that it's really hard to do that because the audience is global and no longer specific to one group of people, which is really good. Because if it was just made for Polynesians, the movie wouldn't make any money and it would never be able to be made.
Yeah,
Idiot.
because there's very few people on
What?
those islands.
Does anyone know what a globalist media economy is?
Yeah, I totally understand what she means. She means like it's multiple markets, like making it
Like
for
you're
China,
not
making it
selling
for Africa, making it for
to-
Europe.
Yeah,
you're
but
making
you're not-
money
you-
everywhere.
But it's not like the movies that just makes movies for a specific place. I mean, especially Disney.
Right,
It's
but
like, we want to.
You're
It's
talking
global.
about localization for something like Disney, which would make sense, but that's still one product from one company. They don't localize everywhere. The same way.
I much prefer the specific media cultures, film cultures from specific places. Asian
I think that's
cinema,
part of the
Japan,
appeal-
Japan,
that's part of the
Korea,
appeal
even
of
China
anime.
has a very distinct
it's-
style and
Yeah,
topic.
I think it's part of the appeal
there is
of anime,
African.
that it's like it's not trying to appeal to a global market, but they just happen to like it as it is, trying to appeal to the Japanese
Like
market.
China.
And there's African. There is an African film
Lol.
industry. They're very weird movies and very basic because they don't have much equipment, but they are making their own movies.
Was it?
True.
Is it?
They're,
Was it
they're making
Nollywood?
they're making what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
there can
Isn't
never
it? Isn't
be
it actually called Nollywood though?
I don't
Yeah,
care
I
what it's
think
called
so,
because
yeah.
the movies
Hollywood.
suck.
for appropriative? No, that's why there's a push for ethical cultural representation. And a lot of this stuff is subjective. That is why there can never be a pure representation, especially in a globalist media economy. An increasingly diverse consumer base
Oh,
wants
boy.
to see characters who look
This
like
is so
them
much
portrayed
word
on
salad. I swear to God.
Want to
this
see
is-
characters that look like them portrayed.
Wait, whoa, hang on. That's not what.
She doesn't
That's not what
finish,
you were
though.
saying. You were talking about culture a second ago.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah, that's
forgot
not-
about that.
No one
with how
but
they look.
narcissists care about seeing characters on screen that look like them. No one
no,
but
she-
narcissists.
Yeah, that has and never will make any media better.
Narcissists want to see it, and you know who else? People that actually make the content because it's their art, not yours.
But she said that
Yeah.
that's not enough for them to look like. So if they have characters that look like them, and then all this cultural shit.
All right, let's see. I
So
want to see
obviously
what she's.
that's not
I want
enough
to.
then.
But let's see, because she never got to the end of the
Yeah.
sentence.
Yeah, it
Well,
is
I'm-
justifiable for the people making it because it's their art, like you said.
Right.
So moving on.
who look like them portrayed on screen. Disney gets that it's just good business to try to be authentic to the communities they are portraying.
Okay, so what is wrong with that? What part of
Why
any
do
of
we-
that
Oh,
statement is wrong?
No,
that sounds. Hold on a second. The whole idea of this company is to make movies, commercial endeavor. The whole idea of the community wanting something is that they want to see this representation. So they're serving the community. That's how the business works. What is the mistake? Where is the problem?
Glib.
Yeah, Disney's mission statement. in
She's
regards to this-
hold on. She's gonna say white people run it, so it's a problem. Watch. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Let's see it. Ready?
Hire more people from those communities. I'm just saying.
But
White-
the one-
Yeah, see? There you go.
Boom!
What a shocker.
Wow, white people are bad. So even if you did what they wanted, even if you run the company and your skin color's wrong, you're banned.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, she thinks that it can't possibly be ethical for a white person to write something that involves non-white things.
Yeah, and suddenly, because it fits her narrative,
Trying to get to the screen
Jews
where
in this lineup are now white
CEOs.
people. Then now they're white
Yeah,
people.
but what's-
When the
but what's
moment
her
it's
line
about
for
oppression
white
again,
people?
it'll switch again.
But what's her line for white
I-
people? She never told us what her line was. Is it because they have European sounding names?
I
they
don't
must be
fucking know.
white
And she talks
because-
about authenticity for the people.
Also-
and
also
why
she-
the fuck? Tell me, why the fuck do we get Black Zeus and Black Achilles?
Yeah, right. She doesn't, but she again doesn't care about white people. What's really funny though is that she just, without naming them, she just went after the Jews. Look at all these Jews.
Yep.
Yeah,
Look at all these
Braverman.
Jews running this company,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay Ellis, for bringing to my attention. Oh, Alan Braverman? That sounds like a Jewish last name.
Yeah, it is Jewish.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert Iger? That's a Jewish guy.
Oh, so also there's a woman there, but that's not good enough because she's a white woman. God.
Oh, she's white.
Yeah, you're right,
Exactly.
Lindsay, you're right. White women shouldn't be telling people how to do things because I agree with you. Most white women, I agree.
The only
white
name that
women
is
shouldn't be talking about minorities. I agree.
the only name that is definitely not Jewish. I don't know all the types of Jewish
Chapek
names,
isn't.
but
I don't think
Maya.
Chapek is.
Yeah, Maya is a normal name. Maya is German for
Jew.
It's something to do with milk making.
Who cares? It's not. The point is that who cares? Who cares, right? I thought it's all about a meritocracy, idiots. Not you guys, but like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I know.
The
I
real
know.
problem
But
with Kevin
she's
Mayer.
secretly- she's
Listen.
secretly anti-Semitic.
The real problem with Kevin Mayer is not whether or not he's a Jew. The real problem is that he's the former CEO of fucking TikTok and ByteDance, the Chinese corporation that's associated with the Chinese Communist Party and military. So what the fuck? You're an idiot, Lindsay. You have no idea what's going on. You have just no idea. You're so far out of the loop. You're like, look at all these white people. It's like there's a Chinese government associate kind of person. There's a Jewish guy. There's Bob Chapek, this white guy. There's a lady, and you're like, you don't know any of these people. She's literally just looking at all these people, doesn't know anything about their background, just looks at their skin color and goes, "I'm not racist." What a fucking racist!
She should have looked at their skin color and their nose. That was her problem there.
And the hair, of course. Don't forget the hair.
Yeah, well, Bob Chapek is bald. So it doesn't really work.
Yes, I'm just saying.
One article I found the most interesting was Doug Herman writing for Smithsonian Magazine, and that article was about his ambivalence on the film. He liked that it got some stuff right, but it also still plays into racial stereotyping.
Racial stereotype. Coconuts as racial stereotypes. Again, the idea of coconuts being a racial stereotype.
Okay. Lindsay, explain to me. Is Germans
gonna.
eating potatoes?
Nobody
racial
cares about
stereotype?
Germans. You're fucking white.
Again, the thing, stereotypes aren't inherently
Hold on, can we go
offensive. They're
back
not
for just a second?
inherently
Can we-
bad.
Can
How
we
do you
rewind
make
like
it
a second?
authentic without the coconuts?
What was the scene right before this that we're looking at right now? The visual scene it just showed right before that.
In the movie or in the video?
In the.
It's
Hold on,
where
wait.
it's like the
I
spirit
wanna
of
go
the
back, like a
ancestors
millimeter.
on the
His
boat.
It's
ambivalence
after
on the
this. It's after this.
He liked that it got some stuff right, but it also
Alright.
still plays into racial.
Yeah, that's
because
coconut.
harvesting
Is that coconuts or watermelons?
That's coconuts.
Those
That's
are
their whole
That's
thing.
coconuts, yeah.
That's during the song
stereotype.
about
He felt
coconuts.
ambivalent about.
Got it.
Why
Okay.
would coconuts be in a tree? No, not coconuts in a tree. Why would watermelons be in a tree?
No, but
okay.
because I saw green for a second, I was like, wait a second. She's gonna say that stereotype.
Yeah,
That's the wrong
coconut- yeah.
stereotype.
No, it
Well,
is
coconuts are green.
That's during the song about coconuts.
Mm-hmm.
About it.
But I know
Okay.
people harvest coconuts. Okay, cool.
No, it's a stereotype.
Ambivalence on the film.
Okay,
He
moving
liked
on.
that it got some stuff right, but it also still plays into racial stereotyping. He felt ambivalent
So?
about it. frustrated even. And
Ambivalent,
this
okay.
frustration kind of gives me some hope because I feel
Ambivalent and frustrated.
Those seem like contradictory things.
Also,
Why?
can-
What is it with
also,
what is it with
why-
all this syncretic nonsense?
Also, can I just keep saying, what does it like being accurate have to do with a story about a fucking giant green fucking goddess wanting to just whatever, fuck it.
Fuck
I
it,
don't care.
dude.
like we're making progress from the days of Pocahontas. It's no longer a hot mess, but a mixed bag.
When you use a bird,
It was a
Why?
hot mess then. Why? Yeah,
Hot
there's no
mess.
reason. She didn't give a
Still haven't
reason.
explained to me why Pocahontas.
Also,
is
Because
on
it had
he's-
white
he's-
people in
he's-
it.
Had
he's
white
about
people in
to
it and they
use
weren't
chicken.
all
Really? I think you didn't even understand Pocahontas.
No, she did. It was just that white people are bad, dude.
Well, we spent about 10
Oh,
minutes not talking about Pocahontas right now, so.
I know it's great.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
we're making progress from the days of Pocahontas. It's no longer
Right,
a
this
hot
was about
mess, but a
Pocahontas.
mixed bag.
when you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
And that may
That's such a fucking dumb joke. I hope that she was saying it's shit.
always be the case because,
Yeah.
let me say it again for the people in the back. The
Jesus
legacy
Christ.
of colonialism is baked
Kill
into
yourself.
every facet of every culture on the planet.
Right,
Liar!
okay, so hold on. That's like say no, it's not a lie. It's fine. But like
true.
that
It's
applies
true.
to Moana too. So you're stupid. And then number two, it's like what Anita said. Everything is racist. Everything is sexist, and you have to point it all out. It's like, what-
No, it's
nobody
not.
cares.
No, it's not.
No. Even if it was,
But she means it-
if everything is baked into colonialism, if everything is racist and everything is sexist, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna stop all of it if it's everywhere? Are you
Because no one is
insane?
pure and untainted.
So
Yeah, but
what kind of
Glib's right,
fucking
Glib's
reaction
right,
are we
yeah.
gonna do here? What are you gonna do? You're gonna kill society in every way?
Just destroy everything. Just destroy absolutely everything.
Because
Like,
it's all
that's it.
racist and all sexist, and it all needs to be pointed out. Let's point out how
But here's-
fucking
but here's
toy
the thing,
train sets are
the-
racist.
The stuff that you use to destroy it will still be sexist and racist because everything's sexist and racist. So you're always sexist and racist. So you can't destroy everything because destroying it would be sexist and racist because everything's sexist and racist.
And it's colonialist
Fucking-
now. It's all baked
yeah.
into everything. Is even indigenous tribes from in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
are baked into colonialism. It's like, okay, what do you mean?
Yeah, but
What are you
that's
talking
why.
about?
That's why I say it's a lie because she doesn't mean it in the absolute general sense of all of human history.
Well,
She
then
means
everything
it
is
just
a
in the
lie.
sense of what some a couple of Europeans did,
The evil
and
colonialism.
that is such
of
a
the
such a
slinky.
tiny window of history. It's like saying, history didn't exist before 1432.
Yeah.
So yeah, Disney's about to challenge your ideas on American history. They've got theme park tickets to sell. Come down on to Epcot Center and
And you're buying one.
Yeah.
Again.
Why is it their job to make you rethink American history?
Are
history
you
book.
are you trying to make it so that Americana is not part of like that? That was part of what Walt Disney was celebrating was Americana. That's why Main Street is just like the average American town. That's the point of the whole thing. It's very pro-American. Now, if you want to make it so that it's anti-American, I want to understand why. And she's clearly just got this Marxist bent where Disney's an evil corporation because they make money. Companies that make money are evil. Also, thank you for donating to being one of my 9,000 patrons. She is so against capitalism that she's making money off of selling anti-capitalism. Just like how people celebrating TLJ and celebrating all that fucking Disney horse shit are doing the exact same thing. You're all feeding. It's a circle jerk. It's a big circle jerk. Look at how progressive and virtue signaling we are. Oh, I'm just so great. It's like what LiteratureDevil says. I'm such a good person. I'm such a good person.
the
Best person ever.
American experience. Or you fans of Pocahontas can march on down to the world of Pandora, which is a thing now.
So,
Yeah.
ugh, she doesn't like the idea. She doesn't like the idea of
that's for
people enjoying
Avatar.
themselves. She doesn't like the
that's for
idea that people
Avatar.
can go and have fun at a theme park.
You are only allowed to
Yeah.
have fun the way I tell you.
For the fans of Pocahontas, you can just go down to Pandora, which is about Avatar.
What's
Why? What?
They're fucking aliens that don't exist.
No, she's
But
complaining
also-
about no, guys. She's complaining about how the fact that there's no Disneyland Pocahontas attraction, which would be what? Firing muskets? What
No,
the
it
fuck?
would-
Firing muskets at brown people.
It
What
would
the
be a
fuck?
native no, because if Disneyland had that, it would be a Native American reenactment village that she would then
Right.
call racist because
Right.
it's using stereotypes.
Right, just like how
Yeah.
they have the tiki lounge, and I bet they complain about that, and I bet they complain about the fucking the fucking Jungle Cruise shit. They complain about all the all of that shit.
I bet
They
she
complain
complains
about
the
anything.
fucking Small World.
She was just
ride.
fucking complaining about how Disneyland had pro-America attractions. Why wouldn't she complain about literally anything that Disney does? That's all she does. She's just complaining about even the stuff that's good, the Moana stuff. She's like, it's still not good enough. Even though it has Taika Waititi writing the draft and all that, there's still white people. Why am I still seeing white people? I'm so anti-racist. Why haven't we gotten rid of all the white people yet?
Why can't I be the only white person?
Exactly. That's what she's saying. Yeah. I want to be the only person to take black dick.
Especially with a multinational hydra like Disney, progress isn't always linear. At the end of
Progress isn't always linear. What is non-linear progress?
Where?
What is non-linear progress?
That's sideways progress.
Lateral progress.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is she referring to
It's an impossibility.
Going backwards is our progression. Well, actually, to be honest with you, the most progressive are backwards.
Is she
No, I wasn't. Guys,
we
weren't retreating. We were just progressing in the opposite direction.
Yeah. we're just going the long way round to come up on their rear.
No, I didn't lose. No, I didn't lose. We just advanced to the rear. No.
Yeah. Completely different
from everything you said. You sound like you would be very happy in my country 80 years
That's
ago.
like something that fucking Stan Smith from American Dad would say. It's like, Stan, where are you going? I'm not retreating. I'm just advancing in the opposite direction.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just advancing to the rear.
Oh shit.
Bottom line.
The financial bottom line. So again, as long as they're making money, it's bad. But you're doing this for money, Lindsay.
Yeah.
You're doing this all for money. You don't donate any of your money.
Oh my God, Lindsay, you could not
fucking hypocrite.
Flying fucks about the people of color. I bet you cross the road whenever you see a black guy.
Oh no!
I bet you actually cross the road when you see a black guy and go.
No. It depends on how low his pants are. The lower the pants are, the more likely you are to cross the road.
But these are the sort of people.
To be fair, the lower the pants,
the
easier it is to
I'll always remember.
True. But at the same time,
there was
anybody who has their pants all the way down, I want to run away immediately.
There was a woman who I knew who was one of the biggest virtue signalers of all time. Oh, African people and all this. It's horrible with racism. She would literally cross the road when she saw a black person, and if she saw a black person in a restaurant, she wouldn't use that restaurant because she'd have to eat with a black person.
Have any of you guys seen that video where the black guy comes up to this white guy to start a fight, and the white guy takes his shirt off, and then the black guy takes his shirt off, and they get ready to fight, but then the white guy proceeds to start taking his pants off, and then the black guy starts running away?
I have seen that. That's pretty funny. That was pretty funny.
I've been in that situation, not with a black guy, but you know.
But you know what? You know what? It's a big risk, man. Because if you do that and he goes, "All right," then
okay.
The best one is when
I guess we're having a naked wrestle.
No, the best one is when a black guy takes his shirt off and the white guy takes his shirt off, and they both see like Nazi symbols on their chest, and they're like, and like they hug each other, and they start having a nice conversation.
Based black man. Oh my God, it's a real based black man. I thought those didn't exist.
It's like, yo, motherfucker. Did you just knock off my MAGA hat, motherfucker?
I also hate white women.
I hate these white-ass motherfuckers coming into my place saying, I'm going to tell you how it is.
The multinational hydra like Disney, progress isn't always linear.
At the end of the day, the financial bottom line will always be the most important thing for a company like Disney.
Yep. No
but
shit.
There is money to be made in authenticity.
No
and
shit.
I think Disney is edging closer to that.
Yeah, but you get mad if a white guy does it.
Yeah, but authenticity. Okay, let's watch Pocahontas. With authenticity. Okay, all the natives get shot and killed, and they take over. Wonderful.
If the movie was untouched,
yeah, I don't give a shit.
If the movie was untouched, but the people that produced it were black, would she love it?
She would.
Yes.
She would unironically love it.
She would be.
If there was a twice as long video talking about why it's great.
Okay, if somebody made like Birth of a Nation, but it was like Vengeance Day, and it was all the black people whipping the white people in the streets, she'd be like, "This is so progressive. This is so progressive." Everybody would be like, "Oh my God, this is just so amazing," because it represents Vengeance Day to them. That's what it is. It's like, oh, we're doing the Patriot, but instead it's white people against a bunch of people of color, right? And it's like, I gotta fight. And they got a gay flag that they're, Mel Gibson's charging up the hill. He's got a gay flag. He's like, fuck white people, getting shot.
They had
Obviously, we have to have
was
the
it
black
BBC that did the fucking show where it was like, what if black people were the slave owners or whatever?
Exactly.
They were.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like,
Wow, so progressive.
It's supposed to be this really dumb, like, oh, see, no, because it's white people are slaves. Now you get what black people feel like, as if white people have no empathy, as if white people just don't care.
Someone correct me, please. Wasn't one of the first slave owners in America a black man?
Yes. One of the most
BBC,
wealthy
what's
slave
wrong
owners
with you?
was a black guy. Yes.
What a boring set of ideas.
Of the enchanted tiki room. There's this one scene that's there towards the end of both films where our heroine gets a pep talk from Spirit Grandma that I feel speaks to the evolution.
Wow, what a fucking what a trope. What a boring trope. I've seen this trope a billion times. This is a white trope. White people.
Cultural angle, but of the ethical storytelling of Disney movies. In both films, our heroine is feeling down and out, and she's ready to give up. Here's what Spirit Grandma says in Pocahontas.
You have to stop them.
I can't.
Child, remember your dream.
I was wrong, Grandmother Willow.
And here's what Spirit Grandma says in Moana.
It's not your fault. I never should have put so much on your shoulders. If you are ready to go home, I will be with you.
This is such a...
What?
Oh no! What a bitch!
These are
So,
what?
okay.
Why? What are these supposed to be the same scene? What is she saying? I don't get it.
She's
These are two
saying,
different-
she's saying, look at this scene as opposed to this scene. And she's saying the
Yeah,
Moana
okay,
is
cool.
better.
She's
They're
saying
two different
the
stories. Pocahontas one is problematic.
I like the Pocahontas one. She's
Why?
like, you have to go and kill them all. Go. It's like, I can't do that. I'm not cool enough. And then in Moana, it's like, it's okay. You're pathetic. If you want to die, I'll be there with you.
It's
You're
okay.
just a dumb bitch.
I forgot you were a woman. You can't succeed.
Can we actually
Just
watch
run
them
off and
again? Can we
cry.
watch these two scenes again real quick?
Yeah, I want to know what the problem with both of these scenes are.
Yeah. I want to actually listen to what she's saying.
Yeah.
Storytelling
good.
of Disney movies. In both films, our heroine is feeling down and out, and she's ready to give up. Here's what Spirit Grandma says in Pocahontas.
You have to stop them.
I can't.
Child, remember your dream.
I was wrong, Grandmother Willow.
And here's what Spirit Grandma says in Moana.
It's not your fault. I never should have
Spirit
put so
Grandma.
much on your shoulders.
And this one's like, fuck it!
Fix Space Dad.
Fuck the whole thing!
I will be with you.
If you want to
This
give
is
up,
such
it's
a
okay.
tiny difference, but it is so telling to me because it tells me that the filmmakers were thinking about what children would take from the exchange with Moana. In Pocahontas, Spirit
They
Grandma...
weren't thinking of that with Pocahontas.
What children
scene
can
in
take?
Pocahontas
Yeah,
has
with Moana,
urgency
it's like
to it.
yeah, people are about to kill each other. With Moana, so what you're telling us, we should just tell kids, cry and give up. Don't worry about
Give
it.
up! You fucking suck! Give up!
Yeah, why?
Give up on
Why?
your
Why?
dreams, you dumbass!
Okay, yeah, Well, sorry,
fucking hate
Lindsay, that you
children.
gave up on your dream.
This
Yeah,
is-
cry and give up
She
is a thing you should tell kids.
At the start of this video,
Get
she was
them.
showing the comparison how similar all the plot points or plot beats were.
Yeah.
For two
Yeah.
films. Now she's saying, "Hey, look at this one. It's different. They're selling a different message. It's like it's a different story. What do you expect? You think it'd be identical
And
pastiches
also
of
that is
themselves?
the
Like
literal grandma, as opposed to like this sort of spirit.
Tree. Yeah. One's a tree, one's a dead grandma. Big difference.
and the
I should
idea
know.
is that
I have a
the
grandma.
writer,
was never
She's not very wooden.
yeah, but the idea is that the writer is now being sensitive to the children of what they might think. It's like, maybe, yeah. I guess that every writer is
but
trying
what-
to make
what
the audience
message?
understand.
That's
What
speculation,
message?
though.
Pocahontas
Yeah, but
is
what
also not a
message is
child.
it? Yeah, but what message is it to send to kids? Cry and give up.
Well,
That's a rape message
well-
to kill kids.
Well, assuming
Cry
that,
and give up.
assuming that was what they were doing, I would say
don't-
that
I
the
don't
most
remember the entire context
feasible
of this
argument would be to say that they were saying it was supposed to advocate for a form of parenting that's it's authoritative parenting, which is I'm proud of you regardless. That's the idea.
Yeah, fire. Yeah, sure it wasn't. But
I mean, I don't know. I still think it's speculation. I mean, I don't know if that was what they were going for. I think it's specific to the narrative.
Yeah, but at this point in time, so what's wrong with the Pocahontas scene? She's got to stop.
Well, to be honest, she cut it off. She cut off the Pocahontas scene. I hope she's about to finish it, maybe. But she kind of cut off the Pocahontas scene and then finished the other one.
This is not really a big deal. This is typical for hero's journey stuff. You have the meeting of the mentor or the wise man who provides the boon or the sword or whatever to go on their way. And I think Wisp makes a good point that these are both similar characters in their role, but one's really an adult, one's kind of a little girl. So the grandmother's like, you're still a little girl. You probably shouldn't have done all that. It's like, yeah.
Oh, now I know why. Now I know why Lindsay doesn't like Moana. It's because the little girl's not getting fucked by a 40-year-old white guy.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. If only that. Well, that's why that she was complaining, wasn't she, earlier about Pocahontas? That Pocahontas was actually an underage girl and John Smith was 40.
Yeah, she wants it to be more authentic. She wants more.
So Moana's a young girl. And it's like, if only there was a 40-year-old white male to have a sexual relationship with her. God, I bet that would make Moana better for Lindsay. Don't blame me. She said it.
Oh, I blame you all the time. It's always blame Hawk.
Tells her that she's obligated to fix the mess that other people made. But in Moana,
Hawk
concedes that it wasn't fair for her to put that responsibility on a literal child. What? And
Okay, so then what are you saying? What's the point of these stories?
Pocahontas had a dream, supposedly. That's literally what she said. It's like, remember your dream and stuff. And she goes, I can't. So it's like, you wanted to solve this problem, Pocahontas.
Okay,
you're going to have to do it.
Yeah. Well, maybe she's about to explain why she's even comparing these scenes. Because at first she was like, look how different these are. Now she's explaining why it's okay that they're different. So what's her point? Maybe her point is about to show up.
I doubt that.
It's typical in a story to have someone support the main character, and in this case, she has a dream or whatever the case might be, and that's typical in life as well. You always have stumbling blocks. You always have failures in your business or whatever you're doing, and the guy's like, your teacher's like, no, this is normal. This is fine. You're doing fine. Whereas this is like, well, you're a little girl. Maybe this is not the right thing for you. I don't know. Who knows what your future may hold? There's all sorts of wonderful, simple things here to understand. And even if it was both stories were being enthusiastic, the grandmother's like, oh no, you could do it. You could totally do it in Moana. It's like, okay, what's the problem? Like, what's the inherent conflict here that Moana needs to learn from? Like, what is going on here? Is she going to say, no, grandma, maybe I should, or oh, maybe you're right? No, she keeps going on in her story. She doesn't go back home. Yeah. So it's like, what's the different thing? Do you want the little girl to have her own little insights? Or do you want the enthusiastic parental figure to help you out? The end result's the same.
Rather than pushing to fulfill her destiny, she reassures her that her family loves and supports her no matter what she decides.
Destiny. She loves the sea and her people.
Okay.
She makes her whole family proud.
This is indicative of how taking into consideration the feelings of your audience, in this case of children, can actually help make the story stronger.
Amazing.
Okay, wait. Why?
I know that.
Why is it stronger?
I don't entirely disagree with.
Why does it make the story stronger? I want to know why.
Yeah, why?
But it can't be stronger. White people profited from it, so it's the best movie.
I don't understand.
She's making the assumptions that she knows because of Moana's story that the writers take into account the audience's feelings. How the devil does the writer know the audience's feelings at this point?
Yeah, I still think that's speculation. But if assuming it's true, I would agree that does enrich the story and that you're probably putting more effort in delivering it to your.
But it's a false equivalent.
Your audience.
But it's a false equivalent. It's completely false. You can't. No.
Pocahontas. How does Pocahontas not?
You can only really assume.
Opinion. Look. What she's saying is that she values one statement over the other. That's not. She's trying to be super circuitous about it. She thinks. Hold on a second. She thinks that the statement that it's okay, whatever decision that you're okay with, is the correct moral decision to tell a child. Whereas she thinks that the Pocahontas one, we're putting responsibility on a child and telling them that they failed or that they have to go and do something,
right?
And demanding they do.
Think
something
of this,
wrong. And that's just her opinion.
Think of this example, with Man of Steel. Steele's depiction of Jonathan Kent.
No.
Where Jonathan Kent is like, hey, maybe you should let a bunch of people on a bus die.
Should I have let them die? Maybe.
That version of Jonathan
Perhaps.
Kent is an utter moron.
Imagine just like
with that specifically.
The whole moral.
Compare
the whole moral
that-
in Pocahontas.
compare
like
that to-
the fucking. Sorry,
Hold
can
on.
I just wanted to say that, you know, with a character like Superman that everyone knows Jonathan Kent, Clark Kent, the family. Would you think that a good depiction of Jonathan Kent would be like, hey, maybe you don't know what to do. Maybe you should figure that out. Giving the emotional understanding of the audience more support so they can say, hey, yeah, maybe Clark has his own mind about these things. It's like, yeah, but he's also just a kid, and he's literally asking his dad for help, and his dad is the guy who makes Superman, or Clark Kent Superman, if you want to say that. That's what he becomes. And
that
it's
whole conversation could be done any way you want, right? You know, you could play it any way you want.
You
The
can
audience
appeal
wants something specific, do they?
You can appeal to emotion on many different levels. That's fine, but that's not the point. The point is that that scene gives us pause to say, wait a second, you're not teaching your son right from wrong? Really? And in this case, a grandmother always loves their granddaughter. It's like, oh yeah, whatever, honey, whatever you want to do. You know, we love you and we care about you. It's like, that's fine. In this case, we have an adult woman who has a vision, who has this ambition, and she realizes, I can't do it. This is too hard. This is wrong. And her grandma's like, no, you're fine. What are you worried about? Do your thing. You're getting slowed down. Don't worry about it. So there's typical lessons you learn in life, and especially with characters we know that can appeal to our emotions for whatever stage. And she's comparing a child's development or a child's conflict to an adult issue or an adult conflict. Mm-hmm. These are, as Glib said, these are worlds apart. These are different. These are false equivalents. They exist for their own story, and let that be fine. But one does not make the writer one more sensitive to the emotions of the audience because the grandmother's being nice.
Okay.
But it's like the whole moral of the story in Pocahontas. I mean, even what do you call it? The grandmother Willow even says explicitly, it's sometimes the right thing to do isn't the easy thing. Like she even says like that almost like verbatim. So that's the theme in Pocahontas, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing immoral about having.
Yeah, but she cut that out. She cut it out for this.
You know.
Yeah, because she
cut it out for the comparison.
Yeah, because she's disingenuous. Yeah, well done, Joe. You finally realised that Lindsay's disingenuous with what she showed.
It's so the problem
hence why she's not shown anything from the people who said that Tina McGrath or whatever the fuck she was. No quotes, no showing that she said anything. Or the other people who didn't like that Native American activist. It's like, yeah, she cuts all the stuff out that she knows is disingenuous. She's just lying about shit. Yeah.
But she has the clips when it's someone who disagrees with her. She has the clips when it's the American Indian guy. You know,
the line from Man of Steel is like he says, "What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?" And then Jonathan Kent says, "Maybe." There's more at stake here than just our lives, Clark, or the lives of those around us.
When the world finds out what you can do, it's going to change everything. Our beliefs, our notions of what it means to be human, everything. You saw how Pete's mom reacted, right? She was scared, Clark.
It's like,
that's fucking stupid.
Isn't that stupid? That's Snyder's whole idea of. That's why the Snyder Cut is shit too, because the whole idea is that the world would be scared of Superman. He thinks that everybody, and I think that is like his dumbass conscience telling him like, everyone's scared of you, Snyder, because you're fucking a maniac. Because you really are Injustice Superman. You're fucking crazy.
Well, he does think that murder is a reasonable response to.
My Batman kills people. Fuck you. You need to grow up.
Yeah.
He has Gatling guns in all his vehicles.
You don't get it.
But he said I can't remember what he said, but he was literally talking about. I find it hard to believe that people just don't murder people every day.
What
like, how can you? He goes like, yeah. He went, I can't understand why people wouldn't kill people. It's like, wait, what? What are you on about? I don't kill anybody. What the fuck are you on about here?
I just don't get why you don't just spontaneously shoot people in the head at the library.
You know, you make a good point.
Superman should be killing people because someone with power would obviously murder someone every day. Wait, what? What are you on about here, Zach? What the fuck?
If you wanted to make the boys, then you should have asked.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we got 1 minute left.
We can do this.
All right,
we can get there.
Let's do it.
Moana's moment is stronger than
We can
Pocahontas'
do it.
because it is motivated by her character growth, where in Pocahontas
Uh-huh.
it's her remembering
What?
this dream she had at the beginning.
Wait a
Really,
second.
that's not part of
No,
character
wait.
growth. That's
Wait,
not part
wait,
of
wait.
character growth.
Character
No.
growth. Okay.
What?
No.
Depending on your
what bunch of
definition,
bollocks.
what character growth is to Lindsay, I don't know. But character growth occurs at the climax of a story, and it's building up to that. So if you start off with a thing that she knows she has to deal with, which is a dream or a vision or an ambition, and then she gets to the point where she can't achieve that vision, and then the wise man or whatever comes by and says, no, here's what you need to do. Go off and do it. Then they get further motivation, and then they finally make the choice when they come to the climax what they're going to do. That's the character growth, whether it's positive or negative or what have you. It's a different kind.
Okay.
It's a different story. So you have to treat it as what the choice is and whether or not that's built up properly. We don't know the context for this because she's just showing us clips. I don't know the full story. I haven't watched it. Dollface, what does she do? Like, what happens at the climax?
So at the climax, the whole thing is, what is it? The guy she was meant to marry from the tribe comes and sees her kissing John Smith, and then a whole thing ensues, and the character Thomas kills that guy, and then John Smith is taken in by the Native Americans to be executed.
That already happened at this point.
The whole thing is that she has to go back and stop it. She has to go back, and she used the compass because the whole thing is she has this dream about the compass leading her to where she's supposed to go, I think is the idea. And she follows the compass, and some weird magic shit happens, and then the compass leads her to John Smith, which leads her back to the village, and then she is able to step in front of.
Yeah, it's in the moment where the two armies are standing in front of each other. The Native Americans on the cliff, where there's also the execution place, and the Englishmen on the ground with their muskets, and her father is about to execute John Smith. She jumps in front and says, "If you want to kill him, you need to kill me too." That's where her father stops. Yeah. The Englishmen are all touched. The Native Americans are touched, so they they lower their weapons.
But the thing is, the main bad guy shoots. Like the main bad guy shoots at John, and then they turn on him.
No. He doesn't shoot at John. He shoots at the chieftain, at the father.
Right.
And John jumps in between and gets shot. Instead,
but
he jumps in front of the bullet.
John gets shot. That's why the people turn on him. That's why the rest of the Englishmen turn on him.
No, they don't turn on him.
It's very unsporting.
They turn on the main bad guy. They turn on.
Yeah. That's right.
Because,
they turn on the bad guy
because John gets.
It's all right shooting natives. We just don't shoot each other. That's the English way.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a choice that was involved not just with her, but also the other character. And we're going to see this as a series of themes because we have romance and destiny and tribal disputes and what have you. So it's not just her choice, it's a series of choices by other characters as well. So that is the climax of the film. That's kind of what we need to know, what the hell's going on here. So
I also like to think of like Pocahontas as it almost has Romeo and Juliet vibes because it's two opposing families.
Yeah, it's the star-crossed lovers trope.
Yeah, star-crossed lovers. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here, which is a little bit more complicated than what's happening in Moana. At least more adult. Yeah. So, if you're a young adult or a young woman and you're trying to figure out what the hell am I doing, do I save my tribe? Do I save this man who I love? What's going on?
In a way, it's more about the development of the relationship than the development of the characters.
Adult, except for the part where I was confused as who was actually shot because no wounds, no blood is shown.
Yeah,
someone holding his side and I'm dead. And it's like this is like a bad stage play.
Yeah, they don't show blood when like multiple people are shot in the movie.
Yeah, he has to go back to Europe or whatever to get healed properly or something. Like, okay.
He just died on the fucking voyage.
Probably.
What is that? 3 months?
Yeah, it's a pretty long
I don't
voyage. So anyway, that's
What the hell's happening in the background?
what's going on.
Kingdom.
Jesus!
What the fuck is going on?
No.
Oh my god.
Stop the kitchen. There's just one thing I'd like to say about the Pocahontas thing that Lindsay completely mischaracterized, and that is when she talked about the one of the two good songs I see in the movie that are both near the end, and that is the savages thing, where she just said that's what the Englishmen think about the natives. Oh, how horrible. No, the whole point of that song is that both groups are singing it about the other. The natives sing savages about the Englishmen because they're ravaging the land.
That was her.
And killing one of theirs.
She took
and the Englishmen call the natives savages.
I legitimately
Because
thought I
they are
muted myself.
uncivilized
I am
to them.
sorry.
Alright.
So the whole point of
Whispers right about it.
yeah, the whole point of that song, and that is the best part of the whole movie, I think, is how it's all set up. Also visually, how the tribal fire, the smoke of the tribal fire, and the smoke from the Englishman, I don't know what creates it anymore, then comes together over the valley before the actual battle, and the clouds come to the smoke clouds come together and form a thunderstorm. This is a wonderful metaphor for the war, and they both make it for the same stupid reason that they think about the other. And this is the wonderful message about Pocahontas. Both these different cultures think they are the civilized ones and think the others are the savages. And Lindsay completely cuts that out.
No, she said like, "Oh, look, it's both sidesing the issue," because she takes issue with the fact that it portrays the Native Americans in any bad light whatsoever. Even though in the overall movie, I think that's kind of retarded because, like, obviously the white people are portrayed as worse.
In the very beginning, when the Englishmen are landing and the chieftain is informed about them, and some of I think the head warrior who later gets killed wants to go right to action against them. The chieftain says, "No, if these are enemies, we don't know them. We don't know what they are like. So it's an enemy we don't know. If it's an enemy, it's an enemy we don't know." And then he talks about another tribe that they had a war with before, and said who were apparently very brutal. And he said, we won that war because we knew the enemy. We do not know these people. So this tribe already was at war. The whole movie Pocahontas acknowledges that the Native American tribes war with each other. Lindsay never mentions any of that.
No, well, she says they're both sides. She says the Pocahontas both sides is the issue. Her whole problem with it is that it doesn't portray it as exclusively one-sided. Her whole problem with Pocahontas is that it doesn't portray exclusively white people as evil and the Native Americans as exclusively, like, morally superior victims.
Oh, and I must have missed that part yesterday. And Lindsay then just wants racial hatred between groups and demonize people.
Yeah, now you get it, Wisp. Well, welcome aboard.
So does it, Lindsay? Do you want to genocide people?
Yes, she does. God,
Yes, she
how many
does.
times do we have to tell you?
Man.
Yeah, Wisp. Listen,
They always tell me it's a conspiracy theory.
No, it's not. Well, they're liars.
Stream she had at the beginning.
It's the arrow from your dream.
My mind is blown.
Right. For Moana, it comes not from Compass Ex Machina, but from a place of love and support,
It's
creating
not
a much
Compass
more
Ex
iconic
Machina
moment
if
than
it's
Pocahontas ever
foreshadowing
got.
in a dream. It didn't come out of nowhere.
She suddenly became a technological Luddite just because of some brown.
Yeah.
I love Grandma!
And I don't think this would have happened if the filmmakers hadn't looked at the scene in Pocahontas and thought, well, wait, this has already been done. And
Yeah, exactly. It's already been done.
Yeah,
Time to
about
do
1,000
something different.
times in human history.
Pocahontas.
Your point?
It was kind of weak the first time. We can do better.
We can do better. Is that a Nostalgia
a
Critic
fucking
line?
phrase.
That's like,
I
are you
get
copying
a
Nostalgia
fucking
Critic
phrase.
again? Quite frankly, we can do better. And no, you can't.
can do
We know you
better.
can't do better. We've seen the
It's
movies
all-
that you make. We've seen the
That
rape
sounds like
raps.
that sounds like a socialist critique line of society. We can do better than this. We should rise up and change everything.
So is anything less than complete, like perfect utopia is just, well, we can do better.
Yes, that's why they tear everything down, because it's not perfect.
Pisses me off.
Everything sucks.
That's what
We can do better.
leads to their nihilism. They hate everything because it's imperfect. And they will never get anything perfect. That's why socialism always leaves rubble and a lot of bones.
Yeah.
Yay!
Excuse me, that white man is only half dead. This isn't
Grandma!
Moana is far from perfect, but I think the ambivalence of the criticism it received is telling. It tells us that
What?
Disney, and by extension all of us, has a long way to go, but that Disney has learned some from the
Oh, where
mistakes of its
to?
past.
Back here.
Lindsay, you don't know shit.
And what?
You guys,
You
What
don't know
exactly
shit where
did they learn
anything is
again?
supposed to go because you can't even define it. You can't give a clear answer on anything. You're contradicting yourself all the fucking time.
ambivalent
Sorry, Glib, I'm
criticism.
not doing it in German. I forgot.
How'd you like the movie? I was pretty ambivalent. So is that
Hey,
good or
sweetie,
bad?
get it.
Neither.
Yeah.
I'm neutral to this, and say hello to my wife for me.
Tell my
Some
wife.
from the
I
Hello.
said hello.
How can you improve upon criticism which is ambivalent? I don't understand.
I am
Well,
completely
sure.
neutral to this, but it's getting better. What? What? She's like, it's so dumb.
Raise alarm
Wait a
beep.
minute.
I want to hear what she's like. Oh, mistakes of the past. And what is Disney gonna say that's gonna like either confirm her statement or be a part of like the progress that she says is so important.
The advice I have ever given to students who have studied under me has been just this: educate yourself.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. What did that have to do with anything?
What a fucking
what a
bastard,
bastard!
right?
What? Walt Disney? What a bastard! He said.
What a fucking
educate
bastard.
Lindsay, I have
she's
a
saying,
feeling-
She's saying that we need to educate ourselves. She's saying
have
we're a
a
bunch of
feeling.
ignorant hicks that don't know anything about other
Yep.
cultures. It's like,
Yep.
you don't
Lindsay,
know
I have
your
a feeling
because
you're
she studied
ignorant.
she studied Irish in high school.
yourself. Yeah.
Can we stop with it?
Oh,
Can
all
we
I
stop
know
it?
is
No,
Lindsay-
she made that
Quote-minded.
point.
She made that point. She's got to stand
Lindsay-
by it. That's the excuse she does
Disney
for
meant something
appropriating another
completely
culture.
different than you think.
It's not a cultural appropriation if you studied it in college.
Yeah.
Educate your.
If I studied it, I mean, she just said
What
a
you love
fucking
most about
Guinness
cinema
once in a while.
would get you called a movie snob.
Lindsay, it would help if you educated
What?
yourself about
By the
something
way-
because
Oh,
you know
wait,
jack shit
wait, so
about
that's it?
anything.
Oh,
Wait, so
these
that's
all
it?
You didn't even.
that's
You
it.
didn't
And
even
these
end-
are
you
these
didn't
are all
even-
her these are all her money givers that are
You didn't even
supporting
end
her
it on
capitalist
something
enterprise.
even remotely. You didn't even end it on something even remotely related to Pocahontas.
No,
What the
she
hell?
literally ended on educate yourself.
Go read
It's
a
not my
book.
job. Go read a book. You don't know what you're talking
what-
about. You're just a dumb
Yeah, educate yourself. So what was the whole point of this video then?
Yeah.
If it's just a
Lindsay,
matter of
listen-
educate yourself.
Listen to your own fucking advice.
no.
Yeah,
What if I come to a
exactly.
different conclusion to you then? What is that? You know, what do you do then? You know.
What a nothing video that
Stop
just
it with the ketchup.
makes me think that she is a raging racist. I honestly believe that she is like incredibly racist.
She's
And, like, literally-
She's
her
completely in
mind.
line with Nazis. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole just for knowing about it.
Just fascism in general.
All right, well, let's get the super chats out of the way and call it a night. You guys have been here for a long time. I do appreciate taking your patience with me and, sitting through our technical difficulties. It's about 9. Almost.
I'm grateful you let me take your time away from you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, guys. Here's Mike Testa. Did she just reveal how inherently evil she is?
Yes.
Indiscriminately,
Yes.
perhaps. Yeah, we don't know.
Yes.
He wasn't aware of it.
Holy shit.
Wisp, say how about another joke, Lindsay? What?
I have no idea what that means.
Lindsay!
I'm too autistic to understand what you're trying
How
to say.
about How about Sprachen die Joken, Lindsay?
What?
Lindsay.
Oh dear.
It's like the Joker. Lindsay. How about another joke, Lindsay?
All right. Here's Tyler Preston for the donation. Thank you, sir.
Come on.
This is why we shouldn't bother trying to appease the SJWs like Lindsay. Nothing will ever be good for them. The main issue is that dumbasses like Miss Ellis are bitching about entertainment made by Americans. Go watch foreign films. Oh, then she just argue about cultural appropriation because she's actually doing that. She'd be watching a foreign film. So I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22 for her. If this is the term she's going with, that was like I don't know, 40% of the video was just cultural appropriation.
Stay in your lane.
It's kind of sad.
I've called a couple of years ago, and because I didn't make content, the term never had a chance to test itself and catch on. But when they complained so much about the ethno-nationalists, I thought this whole before this rainbow meme was made with the stay in your lane thing, I thought what is more appropriate for the SJWs is to call them ethnoculturalists, because they draw the line between the cultures and not the nations. They don't care about nation lines. They care about all the lines between the cultures. Those are the borders that they find important.
Interesting. Here is Taker 610. Wasn't blood and soil a Third Reich saying? Because that's what people like Lindsay believe, that land is owned due to blood and was therefore stolen by anyone not of the right blood. But Europe does not belong to white people because reasons. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ask anybody that's like this. You go, okay, so you think that, these countries should be fighting off colonialism and restoring their ethnic origins, right? And they go, yeah, of course. And you're like, yeah, right? And then you say, so should white people have their own countries? And they go, no. And it's like, why? Is it? And then you can ask them, why? Is it because you think that white people are inherently bad or something? And they'll say yes.
Because they think we just poofed out of thin air.
No, they think that we're bad. We think we're a blight on the planet.
Yeah, they don't want us to exist.
Our whole existence is a problem. We're the key to the they're the key. If we didn't exist, then none of these problems would exist. Specifically, straight white men, as if like I being born in 1991 somehow spotted anything ever. Like the fuck, just a guy on the internet.
Unlimited privilege.
While I was doing all those odd jobs and cleaning up a bunch of rich kids' fucking alcoholic throw up and shit. Yeah, that's what you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. All those menial jobs that I did, I had all this white privilege. Thank you so much.
Privilege.
Meanwhile, Lindsay Ellis is raking in thousands of dollars every month by complaining about how white other people are. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
What a grift. What an astounding, audacious way to steal people's money and brainwash them.
It's a good thing you have that man privilege.
I got that man pussy. What?
Yeah. Got that man pussy eating ass. That's what
Dick Society, all this stupid shit. This was a hilarious. This was very fun. This was This was a nonsense.
This was a trilogy.
A trilogy of nonsense with the dark period of the main character being taken out of the picture and being reborn. It was great, absolutely great. The B plots were good.
Yeah, but it's been done before, though.
We had some good flushing toilet humor.
Typical trope. Of the hero dying, and coming back. Typical.
It was so typical.
Trope.
Who wrote this shit?
Probably a bunch of fucking white people.
Well, we have a bunch of it's a bunch of fucking white people here. I mean, like, look at all this. This is a colonialist podcast. I mean, obviously, just a bunch of apologists, white man children, explaining to me what's. I can't believe they're just oppressing this misogyny, this oppressive against this beautiful feminist woman who's just trying to educate us, y'all. Speak your truth, queen. Slay.
Lindsay is spelled many ways. You say it like Joker Wisp. What?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm sorry, Mike Kester. I'm too dumb to understand what you're saying.
You know the Joker when it's the interview and he's like, do you want to hear another joke, Murray? It's like that, but with
Lindsay.
Like
Lindsay. You said
Lindsay. It's like
it's fine. Don't worry about it. I just usually refer to her as cunt, but you can call her whatever you want to. So.
And you're awful. You're awful, Lindsay. Like I'm awful. How am I awful? If it was me on the sidewalk, you'd walk right past me.
Rassistischer Arschloch.
This is what you get when you cross a society. You know, what is it? When you what is the line?
This is what you get when you cross a mentally ill Irishman with a podcast.
Yes,
with a podcast that loves him.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that's the last we'll do of Lindsay for a while. I'm sure we have other ones on the docket, but it's all up to voting. It's all a new voting
I don't like that
technique.
combination of words that you just put together.
Really?
Phrasing.
Okay.
Last we're gonna do of Lindsay. Jesus.
You miss Lindsay already, do you there?
I miss her so much. I
So what
just
is-
don't know how I'm gonna get over
No,
it.
you don't miss her. You miss being right and her being wrong.
No,
Is
I
it out of
Soon
everything
as soon as gonna be fish day again.
I wish Lindsay was here having a headache after watching the video instead of.
Is it going to be an Adam ruins everything next? Seems
I
like
wonder how
No,
it
I
feels
think we
getting
No, I think we did
shut
both of those already.
I love the Adam ruins everything memes. It's just like something good is about. to
No,
happen
we need a break from him too.
Something
He's
good
not
happens.
brain dead.
Something good
He's
happens, and then
adapted
he
to it
just
well, actually.
he kicks the door down and comes in and just goes, actually. You're like, all right, baby, yeah, let's get this going. You're in bed with your girl or whatever, and then he smashes the door open. He's like, actually, you're not good to go yet. Consent is 3/5 of the law. Some bullshit.
Look at this blue sky. Actually, blue is a social construct.
So Smudboy's like, yeah, steak is really better, more on the rare side. Actually, scientists said that well done steak.
Studies show.
The studies, we looked at the data. Looked at the data. Data says that you're wrong.
Adam is so bafflingly dumb and wrong. It stuns me. I have no idea what to say.
It's like you go. It's like you, chief scientist, whatever. You can't be saying the things that you're saying. You've gone mad. It's like, no, I am the science. I am all the science. I determine what the truth is.
Oh my god, did you see that fucking video where it was the guys from BuzzFeed and they had Dr. Fauci on and they were like going like, oh my god, I can bring him in. Oh my god, I'm fangirling so hard right now. Oh my god.
The guy who says you shouldn't be wearing masks at the start because there's going to be there's not enough masks to go around, and then a few months ago he's like, you should double mask. It's like, what?
2 weeks to slow the spread.
The guy who said everyone should have a vaccine. What about you? Oh God, no, I'm not having it. I can
No,
get,
not me, no.
Side effects. It's like, wait, what?
I don't want to die. You die.
Yeah, I don't want to die. You die first.
You can.
Anyway, let's listen to it.
The only way to be free is to do what I say. Oh yeah, totally, dude. Really?
Yeah.
I have no brain.
We had this farmer guy in Germany who was interviewed of when he's gonna take the vaccine, and he just told the interviewer, "Oh no, I'm not taking it. I'm still needed."
Oh, yeah.
The plebs have to take it
first. That is the most fucked statement I've heard in a long time.
Well, my
months later he corrected himself that this wasn't what he wanted to say.
I meant to say you're all
a slip of the tongue.
Time for you to die now.
Well,
right,
my mum's had her vaccine and she's been ill since Friday, so I'm perfectly fine not doing mine. Yeah, no, she's been really ill.
Wow.
So, yeah. I told her, and she knew. I told her, I said, look, there's been some side effects reported. She said, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. She had it Friday, and she's been bedridden since then with really bad flu symptoms.
Excellent. That's exactly. Yeah. Now you're sick. Great job.
What a great way to end.
Well done, Mum.
What a great way to end the video there. Thanks, Hog. That's really uplifting.
All right. So, okay, I can say something better. No, not uplifting thing. I found some money behind my sofa earlier today.
Oh, that's the uplifting
thing.
Thanks.
So, yeah.
Much better.
I have a new video
Swings and
coming out
roundabouts.
soon. I have a video coming out. It's not going to be a review necessarily. It's just going to be an 18-minute thing. That's uplifting. And then the other thing is that I'm still working on my video. So that's coming out soon as I can get it done. But it's become like 30,000 words. It's ridiculous.
All right.
I have news. So someday something will exist that involves
one day. A whole new world.
Maybe.
We live in a society.
Check, please.
One day, A whole new world, check please. In
Oh,
white supremacist society with Pocahontas.
No.
Dick Society.
All right, gents.
No
Thanks.
sympathy.
Thank you for all your time and effort and comedy. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is going on pretty late, so I'll just say good night. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll talk to you hopefully tomorrow. Have yourself a good one. Bye-bye now.